頼みは降りないこびりつく地層のようにライトかヘビーかい中そんな問いもなきものに対岸の価値なのにその身を削るほど姑息なる偽善者の思い込みディセルピーいっそ彼を伝え枝分かれ無重力状態いつか訪れる特別な瞬間浮遊してもまだ I gotta say むき出す愛とへと駆け出す二頭へと孤独を悟る隙間は痛いけど何回だって知ったって何回だって立ち上がって上昇して落ちる速度には神をただ任せてるんだぜ
Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to whatever number of Muv-Luv Alternative we are on. All I know is that we're on chapter 9 of 10. We are flying through this at a pace I didn't even think imaginable. So, great stuff all around. Tonight obviously we have Objective 21, which is going to be our first invasion of a hive. So, hopefully that goes well. Even though it definitely won't, because whenever Talker tries to do something, it always doesn't end up well. Anyways, hope you guys had a good day and enjoyed everything that went on in the world today. And the other news I want to say before I start is that I actually have my next game that's going to be set up after Harmonia. Downloaded, translated, everything. It took me forever and a day to go ahead and get my next game all set up. Should I say next series set up. So be on the lookout for that, and then afterwards we're going to jump back and do all the Final Fantasy stuff. Might as well just say now it's the Mother series. I know that's one of my most requested series to go ahead and play. So I got Mothers 1 through 3, and man, they were a pain to find and translate, but regardless, they are done, and that's going to be coming up after the whole Paper Mario and Harmonia thing. So I hope you guys will stick around for that. But that is another story for another time. It's alternative time. Look, I've got your Santa Rabbit with me. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to just give you guys an ear explosion. Oh, she's still wearing it. That's so sweet. Wait, no, don't change the subject. No, never mind that. Where's Cosme? Is she not with you tonight? No, I came here all by myself. Want to make sure chat's all good? Alright, there we go. Nope, came here all by myself. Didn't Sensei told you not to wander around? What if the others see you? I mean, have common sense. Who cares if they see us together? We've always been two peas in a pod. This is bad. Sumika sticks out like a sore thumb. Only a few authorized people even are allowed to get into her hangar. How did she even get past security? I just walked in. Piece of cake. Wait, how is that possible? Does she have high-level security clearance? Hey, we gotta get you out of here. I was on my way to see Sensei anyway, so you're in luck. What, we're going back down there? I don't wanna. Nope, we're going. She's not here? Well, so much for talking to her. Maybe she's in command center, probably making preparations for tomorrow's big operation. Cat! No, not the keyboard! I doubt she's left for Niigata, right? Oh, man, I should have asked her what the schedule was after the briefing this morning. Talker, are you looking for Kazuki? Yeah, she's in the command center. She's not. What? How? Do you know what she's up to? Not really, but I could tell where she is. Oh, right, she could pinpoint Sensei's location like she did with me. So where is she? She's on a way lower level than this. Lower than this? My security pass won't get us that far. Well, shoot. You want to see her? Yeah, I got a lot of questions for her. You want me to take you to her? What? Does she have higher security clearance than I do? I know that. I guess that would make sense how she saw me. If I take you down there, will you promise to train with me? I don't even know if they let us train together. How do you even have a security clearance class? Well, if you're not going to train with me, then no deal. I'm not taking you anywhere. Slow down and answer my question first. Do you have a security pass? What's that? Oh, come on, look, I'll show you. That? Oh, she could just read my mind. That's great for the sake of expediency, but don't get me wrong, she throws me off. Yeah, so do you got one? Nope. What? Seriously? Oh man, what a waste of time. Nuh-uh, we don't need to do one to get down here. Oh god, don't tell me she's having these delusions again. Excuse you, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, then how do you suggest we get down there? Bruh, just use the elevator. Oh, for crying out loud. This is Alternative Programming Research Facility. It's more top secret than anywhere in the world. They're just gonna let us waltz right in? Yeah, I'll prove it. Just come with me. Look, I don't have time for this. I need to get ready for deployment tomorrow morning. I'm just gonna go down the list of extension numbers for the lower levels and hope she picks up. Nope, you're coming with me. Hey, what are you doing? What? Who's that guy with that fit? We need to keep the synchrotron radiation levels as low as possible. The gravity differential between the laser plasma and the linear accelerator could never exceed 2 standard deviations. What? Shirogane? Time's not on our side. Get on it. Oh, it's just an engineer. We'll figure something out. How many times have I told her to stop saluting me? I hate new recruits. Look, sorry to bother you. I know you're swamped. You could say that again, so why are you here to begin with? Sumika brought me. She pinpointed where you were and somehow got us past every security gate. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh? I know how you got here. I'm not an idiot. I'm asking what you want from me, huh? I don't get it. Even if she had a high-level security pass, she would have been able to bring me along with her. But she managed to get both of us through by just waving her hand in front of a scanner. How could she act like that's not a big deal? I just had questions I wanted to ask before deployment. Fine then. Just make it quick. I'm on a tight schedule too, you know. Well, that was easier than expected. You'll waste more of my time if I don't tell you, and I don't want to lower your morale before the big day. Hey, I can accomplish my mission regardless of morale. I mean, not that I blame her given how immature I've acted in the past, but she can at least have a little faith in me. Don't just ignore me after I brought you here. Oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to. Alright, Kagami, how would you like to do some training right now? What the hell? Training? Can Taku come too? Sure he can. In fact, you have a bunch of people with you. But I just want it to be me and him. A whole bunch of people? Oh, she must be talking about Operation 21. Right, I guess Sumika does need to be deployed for training right away. Sorry, that's just part of the deal. Lots of other people want to train with Shirogane too, you know? Not interested? Oh, okay. Then I guess we could just call the whole training off. No. They can come too. I don't care. Let's do it. Well, good. Why don't you get ready then? Shirogane will be right behind you. Okay. First Lieutenant, take Kagami and get started without me. I'll catch up later when I'm done with the kid. Understood. Alright, Kugami, let's get on our way. See you later, Tucker. Yeah, I'll see you later. I wonder if you two were this much of a handful in your other world. Nah, if anything, you were the one running us ragged. Really? Being a teacher must be easier than I thought. Never mind. Anyway, I'm guessing you've got something important to tell me, given that you felt the need to get rid of Sumika like that? Well, look at you, finally using that brain of yours. Seriously though, why bother? Sumi can just read out your thoughts, right? Okay, my cat's about to jump on the keyboard again. Hold on. He's just blocking the screen. Can't even read. Move, cat. Alright, hold on. I'm just going to move him. Go to your bed, son. Alright. I get that Sumiko and Cosme aren't constantly reading everyone's minds, but she'd still find out... He jumped back up on the keyboard. But she'd still find out what he talked about the next time she reads your mind, right? You'd be right if we hadn't already done something about that. What, you prevented her from reading your mind somehow? After all, you could say that. Did you notice how she couldn't tell what I really meant when I said training? Oh, you were just forcing yourself not to think about it, or what? Let's review. Just because she could read thoughts or images from your mind doesn't mean she has telepathy. Your thoughts aren't an open book. But keep in mind that her job, like that of any genetically modified Esper, is to interpret and convey the images she reads. No, cat, don't take my microphone. If a simple lie like that were enough to throw her off the scent of truth, how could we count on her getting any valuable information from the beta? Okay, so what did you do? Oh my god, my cat hit the mute button. Thank you for letting me know. I wish this thing's mute button was brighter so that way I could go ahead and see it. The cat's been jumping up and down and hitting everything, so he accidentally hit the mute button. Think of it like this: when you smell food nearby, you usually imagine what it tastes like. It's the same thing as actually tasting it. They're that distinct, but it's not the same as tasting it. I always presumed it was just part of a mind-reading process. I suppose if we're going to try and keep her mentally stable, it's best to keep her from seeing too much of other people's thoughts then, especially considering how scared that would make Cosme of others. Maintaining her mental stability is a big part of it, yes, but there's also a much bigger concern. Keep her from obtaining too much sensitive intel? Yeah, you've got the right idea. Then what is it? You know, there's a real possibility of the 00 unit turning from humanity's secret weapon into an enemy far more terrifying than the beta. Hey, that's one of the theories that we talked about. You're worried she'll go rogue? I mean, how'd she bring you down here? You should have been stopped by security. I couldn't tell you. She waved her hand and it was just like that. It's simple. She hacked into the central mainframe and then proceeded to overwrite the security code. What? She hacked by herself? But she never knew the first thing about computers. She couldn't even hold a game controller. Even if she was more tech savvy in this world, she wouldn't be able to hack into a military's clearance database. She's a space cadet when it comes to computers. Is that even possible? It has nothing to do with her computing skills. It's not like she reverse engineered it via logic. What? All she would have had to think was, I want to get through here, and it would have done it. She is the 00 unit. Don't underestimate that power of her brain. Okay, fair, but how can she... Not again, cat. Fair enough. I guess I could see how that would be possible. How could she do it without even touching the panel? Because she has thousands of buff white particles embedded into her palms as well. Like the ones in her ribbon?
その思考波通信素子が端末との非接触接続を可能にしているのよ。
Right. Those thought wave transmitter allow her to wirelessly interface with computer systems of all kinds. So that's how she does
そんな
it.
機能が00ユニットに与えられている理由。それは彼女が左脳2型の英士だから。
As for why we gave her those abilities, she'll need them in order to pilot the Susanoo. I knew it.
英士というよりも左脳2型のメインコンピューターそのものといった方が。
But that's misleading. She is more like the Susanoo's central computer than its pilot. What, the computer? I guess it makes sense given her processing ability in her brain, but
00ユニットの機能を考えると機体に登場するっていうより。
in terms of functionality, she's not so much piloting the Susanoo as much as she is plugging into it. How does that work?
左脳2型には戦術機のような手動操縦装置は搭載されていないしね。必要がないから。
The Susanoo Mark II has none of the manual controls your standard TSF would. No need. There's no pedals or anything?
00ユニットは
Nope.
直接指向制御で左脳2型を操縦するのよ。最も人間ではないから思考っていうのはあくまで非
The 00 unit can pilot it via direct thought, though I suppose that's a misnomer considering that she doesn't possess human thought. Direct thought control?
人間が戦術機を動かす場合、
Right.
操縦操作という入力に加えて統計的な間接思考制御とコンピューターの自動制御。
You know how traditional TDF piloting is done through a combination of manual inputs, computer automated adjustments, and indirect thought control? Thought control based on heuristic algorithms?
操縦する英士が何かをしようとする。つまり脳が命令を出すと強化装備のセンサーがそれを感知する。
Let's say that you're in the cockpit and you're about to input a command. The moment your brain sends out a signal telling your limbs what they need to do, the sensors within you fortified to
蓄
detect
積され
that.
た脳波や帯電圧データのライブラリーからコンピューターがパターン照合することで機体に予備動作を開始させる。
The computer then uses pattern recognition to predict your next movement based on how the signal compares to your existing library of accumulated brave wave and body voltage data and prepares
英士の
accordingly.
操縦操作で最終的なコマンドを確認し、ズレがあれば即時補正
It
する。
checks to make sure the command you ultimately input matches the prediction and then corrects itself if necessary. That's how indirect thought control works. Well,
こ
got
の
it.
方式では絶対になくすことができないロスがある。脳からの命令が肉体的な入力を経由するというシークエンスがそう。
Now, there are some huge undeniable flaws. For one, there will always be some sort of input
な
lag.
ぜなら、そもそも間接思考制御自体が人間の脳を直接機械につなげない代わりに考えられた代案だから。
That's because it was devised in an era in which the notion of hardwiring a human brain to a TSF was impossible. So we did the next best thing. Well, it's still incredible.
だけど、00ユニットは操縦操作という作業によることなく、
But the 00 unit won't be required to make any physical inputs. In fact, not
あ
only
たか
that,
に人間が体を動かすように操縦に関わる全てを制御
but she could actually control every function of her machine the same way people control their own bodies. So you're
彼女
saying
は自分の耳や目を使うように左脳2型の
she can use the Susanoo sensors as her own eyes and
そ
ears.
して心臓や肺を動かすように内臓からホルモンを分泌させるようにムアコックで非適感を制御するのよ。
And she could operate the Moorcock elect drives the same way the human body automatically regulates the circulatory system or releases hormones. So it's a metabolic
そう
process?
よ。素晴らしいでしょ。
That's right. I mean, that means like the Susanoo is going to be something like a second skin.
00ユニットはあらゆる面において人間に最も近いコンピューター。それが左脳2型と一つになることで完全な自律制御兵器が完成
The
する。
00 unit is a computer which resembles a human in every conceivable way. Put her in a Susanoo and you'd have yourself a perfect weapon. Subika's not piloting the weapon, she is the
だから
weapon.
セキュリティ突破をどうやったかなんて本人が説明できなくて当
So
然
it's only natural that she can't explain how she broke the
あんた
security.
が自分の心臓をどうやって動かしているか説明できないようにね。
It's no different than how you wouldn't be able to explain why your heart's pumping.
もうわかった？なぜ00ユニットがベータ以上の敵になる可能性がある
So do you now see how the 00 unit could potentially pose a greater threat than even the beta?
人間の
That's
手に
probably
余る人で
foreshadowing.
はない存在に対する潜在的な恐れ。反オルタネイティブ4の連中が掲げる00ユニット脅威論も同じ。
There's an inherent risk in relying on something fundamentally inhumane, and fundamentally beyond humanity's control. It's the same argument anti-alternative 4 groups have been using. What?
アメリカもオルタネイティブ5推進派もそれに乗っ
Both the US and the Alternative 5 supporters have been pushing that point heavily. An inhumane threat that can dig into people's minds and perceive both their thought and emotion. She could hack into computers and do whatever she wants with their contents, not to mention to control a fearsome weapon like the Susanoo as if it was her own body. in a worst case scenario, she could easily take control of our computer-based weaponry and then just become one with them. I could definitely see how she could be a serious threat then if she went rogue, and I get that people in this are even more afraid of an inhumane threat in this world of having to deal with the beta for decades. I mean, Sumika's not going to do that though, ever. I'm positive about that. She's a human. Even if she has an artificial body, she has a human soul. We'd fear anyone with those kind of powers though, I mean, human or not. Right. I mean, look how Costume was treated during Alternative 3. Everyone acted like she had leprosy. The line between human and inhuman is arbitrary, so I guess I can't say that's an argument. They're just reacting reflexively to something they don't understand. Kind of like how I got upset after finding out Sumika had been in a brain tube. Besides, if we're talking about weapons that are too powerful for us to control, I mean, G-bombs and nukes are just the same thing, right? Not necessarily. Nukes and G-bombs are harmless until someone uses them. The 00 unit could turn against us with her own free will. Yeah, but there are powerful people out there who are trying to get bombs dropped. How is that any different from the risk of 00 unit going rogue? I guess it isn't any different. So if we're worried about those people, it's only natural to be concerned about the 00 unit as well. Are you kidding me? Why are you surprised? You're right, I shouldn't be. We can't even figure out how to trust each other in this face of annihilation. God forbid we trust something made by our own kind. Yeah, welcome to human nature. And I shouldn't have let that slip. I swore I wouldn't get myself mad over this anymore. Which is why I gave her to you. I left her under your supervision so that she'd never completely lose faith in humanity and turn on us. I could tell from the way you treated Yashiro that you wouldn't care whether or not she was an artificial or a weapon or something like that. I knew how you'd feel the same for her as if you did for Sumika and treat the 00 unit with the same love and respect you gave her as a human. All I needed was for you to help her regain her sense of self and rationality and form a deep emotional bond. The best way to ensure the 00 unit never betrays the human race is to make her feel a connection with the human race. That's what you're being used for, I know. Couldn't I have theoretically coaxed Sumika into turning on Sensei? I feel like that's a bit oversight. Maybe she's just convinced I'd never betray her. She knows why I'm fighting the beta. Speaking of, I still don't know why you're here. Do you have questions for me? You already answered them, but this conversation did raise a few more red flags. I kinda get the impression that you only developed the 00 unit as an excuse to use the Susanoo. No. Alternative 4's one and only objective is to use her to read beta thoughts. Internally, the alternative program refers to the XG-70 as Weapon System 110A. It's nothing more than a way to expand the capabilities of the 00 unit. We acquired the XG-70 for the purpose of ensuring the 00 unit's safety. It's the defensive capabilities we cared about. The powerful attacks, a bonus. I don't know, it didn't sound that way earlier. There's 6%. In Alternative 3, we sent genetically modified espers to the hives. Do you remember what the survival rate was? Less than 10%. 6%. I remember the lore. 6%, and the 00 unit's absolutely essential to our survival as a species. It would be absurd to send it into harm's way with nothing more than a TSF. 00 unit wouldn't be able to get a good reading unless we get her close enough to the hive, so doesn't it make sense that we'd want to put her into the safest vehicle we've got? If the Susanoo is truly all it's cracked out to be, then yeah, it makes sense, but that begs the question. Is it really as powerful as what you say? Thank you guys, wow. I feel like I leveled up my culinarian class. It depends on your definition of power, but in terms of anti-laser defense, it's indisputably the most resilient and effective of all conventional human weapons.
あれを通常兵器っていうのは論議の分かれると
Well, not that it's particularly conventional in anything but the most technical sense.
データのレーザーがいかに強力であれ、それが電磁波である以上、ラザフォードフィールドの重力偏差を突破することはできない。
No matter how powerful the beta's lasers might be, they're still the electromagnetic waves, which means they still can't penetrate the gravitational distortion produced by the Rutherford field.
ラザフォードフィールドの制御技術が進めば、そのレーザーを曲げて敵に衝撃
In the future, as we get better at controlling it, we may be able to turn their own lasers back at them. That's possible? Holy!
兵装の家電粒子砲もより強力な陽電子砲や量子砲に換装することが可能だし。
I mean, in the future, we could also upgrade its main weapon from like a charged particle cannon to something more powerful, positron, a quantum
まあ
cannon.
その辺はまだまだ実用レベルじゃないから、一度使ったら機体ごとアウトだけどね。
Not so much with the current hardware, but the kickback from a cannon like that would obliterate the entire machine. But I digress. I've seen positron cannons in like video games, but what's a
こ
quantum
れで強
cannon?
力じゃなかったら何が強力なのっていうアメリカらしい狂った兵器でしょ。島国育ちの農耕民族にはできない発想よね。
So yeah, as you can see, it's an absurdly over-the-top weapon that exemplifies America's bigger is better philosophy. Certainly not something people who've spent their history farming of would
こんな
conceive.
夢みたいな兵器、ここまで作っておいて開発放棄するなんて信じられないでしょ。
Can you believe they would pour money into this and then just shelve it? I thought you said it was due to the G-bomb.
確かにそう。だけど計画のキャンセルには
Well, that's the main one, but there were several other reasons. So why didn't you mention any of these earlier? If it's got defects, don't you think we should be aware of it?
ダメよ。こっちは XG70 が人類の
No, can't do. We've got to play the XG70 up as a beacon of hope.
00ユニットによって克服された欠陥をわざわざ上げて不安にさせるのは利口じゃない。
Even if there were original defects, we've corrected them. No point in needlessly worrying. Oh, I guess the cancellation did happen 2 decades ago, huh? Computers weren't very advanced back then, but they didn't have access to the same kind of materials. So I guess it would make sense that we were able to buff out those kinks with modern
それにその
technology.
話をしたら XG70 に詳しい人間なら00ユニットが人間ではない。
And if I were able to mention there being a pilot at all, anyone who knows anything about the XG70 could infer it's not human. It's pretty clear Sensei has no intention of divulging anything about Sumika just yet, and not even to the rest of AO1. Which makes sense. Her lifelike appearance is a huge asset in keeping the Zero's unit safe from prying eyes. There's no way she'd risk compromising that. I mean, there's a definite risk that people might be able to build off the clue to uncover the full story behind the 00 unit, and the fact that she's been conducting human experimentation. What kind of defects were they
アメ
anyway?
リカらしいっちゃらしいんだけどバカな話。
Stupid ones as you'd expect from America, like?
XG70 シリーズは有人兵器として計画されながら結局人間が登場できない代物にな
The
った。
XG70 series was designed to be manned, but no matter what they ended up with was a dud and that no human could ever pilot. That does sound pretty dumb, because of anti-gravity, right?
厳密に言えば反重力と重力制御は別物なの。ムアコックレ非敵艦によってもたらされるの。
Well, if we're being technical, anti-gravity and gravity control are two different things. What the Moorcock-Lek drive does is enable gravity control. I thought they were the same
初
thing.
歩的な重力制御技術とはいえ XG70 の軌道は理論上在来兵器では考えられないものに
It
な
was
る。
fairly primitive gravity control technology, but in theory the XG70 was supposed to have a level of mobility that was completely unheard of.
だからコックピットにもラザフォードフィールドを展開して操縦者を急激な慣性の変化から隔離
As such, they implemented a system that would create a Rutherford field in the cockpit as well in order to protect the pilots from any sudden changes in inertia. So they were aware something could go wrong.
結局人間の生理機能を 100% トレースする制御技術が最後まで確立できな
But
か
in
っ
the end, their technology wasn't sophisticated enough to analyze 100% of the human's body structure. Analyze the body
た。結
structure.
構その辺を楽観視してた節があるわ。ラザフォードフィールドで包んでさえいれば 60% ぐらいで十分だろうってね。
Our friends got a little bit optimistic there. They figured a 60% precision range would be good enough as long as everyone was wrapped inside the Rutherford
確
field.
かに実験動物を使ったテスト飛行や通常軌道までは
And they were
人
right.
間が乗っても全く問題ない。
There were no problems during any of the initial flight tests or basic maneuvering. Lab animals and humans
だ
were
けど
fine.
その次の段階実戦を想定した高機動時の過電粒子砲運用を想定したテストで
But during the next phase of experimentation, an accident occurred when they attempted to try the test the viability of the cannon at high
乗
velocity.
り込んだ12名のテストパイロット全員がコックピットにぶちまけた七
All 12 test pilots were splattered around the inside of the cockpit like meat on a slaughterhouse. It needed 12 people to pilot it back then, and they
過電
died?
粒子砲を発射する際に機体底部と後方に発生する複数のラザフォードフィールド
that then resulted from the use of multiple Rutherford fields, both one that deployed below the hole and the temporary one behind it meant to cushion the kickback. So this happened during the recharge period
その
then.
多重干渉の影響をキャンセルすることが当時搭載されていたコンピューターの演算能力で
This interference between the two caused several unforeseen phenomena to which the onboard computers were unable to
そ
compensate
の後の
for.
追試験で通常起動であっても 100% 安全ではないという事実まで判明してしまった
Follow-up experiments eventually found that it wasn't completely safe during normal operation. So in other words, no human would be able to pilot it. That's why it would give away Sumiko's identity. The existence of the 00 unit might be confidential, but anyone who knows why the XG-70 was cancelled would instantly realize that she's not human.
仕方なく無人化して自動制御で運用することになったんだけど状況変化への対応が確一的で
They had no choice but to put it on autopilot, and considering the damper in adaptability, couldn't meet the US military
そ
expectations.
れに当時のオートパイロット技術では過電粒子砲の実戦出力を確保できるほどの機関制御が不可能だったの
And on top of that, artificial intelligence of the day wasn't advanced enough to control the output level with the charged particle cannon with reliability.
無アコクレヒテ機関の原理を応用した G 弾が開発されたことで XG-70 開発計画は息の根を止められたってわけ
The final nail in the XG-70 coffin was the development of the G-bomb, which was developed based on the same principles as the Moorcock-Lek drive. But now that we have a Sumika, that defects are no longer a problem.
だけどそれ以外にもまだ絶対に克服できない
Right, but there is another more fundamental problem that we'll never be able to solve. Seriously, there's more? Are you sure it's safe to use
量
this
子
thing?
電動脳にグレイ9が必要なのと同様無アコクレヒテ機関にはグレイ11という物質が必要なの
The Moorcock-Lek drive requires a substance called Gray 11, just as the 00 unit's quantum conductor brain requires Gray 9. Gray 11? That was by that American scientist Dr. Gray.
ウィリアム・グレイが発見した11番目の人類未発見元素よ
Right.
その由来はベータ
The 11th unknown element discovered by William Gray, a beta origin. So with the Moorcock-Lek drive paved in the way for the G-bomb, then the G-bomb stands for Gray,
XG-70 の G も同じ両方ともグレイ11を使って
as does the G and XG-70. They both consume Gray 11. So that's what it was.
G 弾の正式名称は Fifth Dimensional Effect Bomb 5次元効果爆弾
The formal name is Fifth Dimensional Effect Bomb. Fifth Dimension?
5次元つまり重力のこと誰がつけたか知らないけど G 弾っていう俗称はある意味気の利いたシャレになってる
Yes, in other words, gravity bomb. I'm not sure who coined the term G-bomb, but it's a pretty clever nickname. It has a double meaning. Right, because they could work with both gravity and
無ア
Gray.
コクレヒテ機関の構造を簡易化して反応を制御せずに暴走させる構造にしたものがある
The G-bomb uses a simplified version of the Moorcock-Lek drive. It's designed
ア
specifically
メ
to
リ
lose
カは
control.
XG-70 開発計画で貴重なグレイ11を消費し続けるより残り全部を G 弾にする選択
The Americans decided on using the remainder of the limited supply of Gray 11 on the G-bomb rather than waste any more of it on the
それは
XG-70.
なぜかグレイ11の生成が当時も今も
The reason being is that it's impossible for us to create Gray 11.
アメリカが入手したグレイ11の総量は約2トン
America currently has about 2 tons of it left, but once that's gone, it's
つまり
gone.
グレイ11が必要であること自体が絶対に克服できない
Basically, the biggest defect of this whole project is that it's
致命的な問題点
fueled by Gray
どうして
11.
も欲しいなら5を占領するしかないしかも
And if we want more, we have to take over a hive and leave it intact. So the beta make that stuff on
ランド
Earth?
サットのデータによるとフェーズ5以上の成熟したハイブでのみそれらの物質を生成
Based on data from resource observation, the only mature hives beyond Phase 5 are able to manufacture these materials. It definitely makes a lot more sense to bank on a bomb that uses existing technology than it is to waste precious time and resources on a weapon that'll run out of fuel. Especially if getting our hands on more of that fuel requires capturing a hive at Phase 5 without destroying it.
横浜ハイブの制圧で私たちが手に入れた
We got 400 kilograms of it from retaking Yokohama. That's a lot less than what the Americans
G 弾
got.
爆発の連鎖反応で消失したという説もあるけどもともとそれしかなかったという説が
The two running theories are that the G-bomb destroyed most of it, but it's also likely that there's not much here to begin with. What do you
横浜
mean?
ハイブはフェーズ2だったからもろもろの G 元素を生成でき
Yokohama Hive was at Phase 2. It didn't produce G elements
おそ
yet.
らく他のハイブから運ばれてきたであろうグレイ11は建設資材として消費されていたん
The
です
Gray 11 we found was probably brought over by the other hives. And how long do you think those 400 kilograms last?
使い方にもよるわね例えばラザフォードフィールドにレーザー照射を受けた場合エンジンにはきっちり負担
Depends on how we use it. For instance, when the Rutherford field gets struck by lasers, it's an extreme burden on the engine.
照射に対抗してラザフォードフィールドを維持するための出力が増大するから反応も加速する当然その分燃料を消費する
Essentially, it needs to produce more power to maintain the Rutherford field what's under fire, which consumes higher RPM, more fuel.
家電粒子砲もそう。いくら余剰電力で稼働するって言っても、バカバカ撃てばそれはそれで負担になるし。
Same goes for the charged particle cannon. While it does charge itself via surplus electricity, we can't just fire away or it'll even put more strain on the engine.
節約して使ったとしても、地球に存在するすべての背部を潰すことはできないでしょうね。
Even if we ration it out very carefully, I doubt our current supply will be enough to destroy every last hive. I can kind of see why some people think we should just use G-bombs instead.
後先考えなければそうね。
Yeah, if you don't care about consequence. So it sounds like we really need to make sure we capture the hive intact, right?
そうなってくれればありがたいけど、佐渡島はフェーズ4だからね。それが残っていたと。
It's a nice bonus, but Sadogashima is only phase 4. There's probably not going to be too much there, but it's better than nothing, right?
そうだけど、今回の運用試験はハイブのリーディングが最優先よ。
Well, yeah, but our top priority in the assessment is to conduct a rating on the hive itself. 00 units orders. I thought you said it was to test Susano's
国連
capabilities.
のオルタネイティブ4支持派の中にも頭の固いのや利得狙いの連中が多い。
Unfortunately, even among the alternative force supporters in the UN, there are plenty of stubborn old goats who just want to use tangible
そうい
results,
うバカ
see
向け
tangible
に
results.
兵器として派手な活躍を見せておくことも必要なの。
So we're going to have to make a point of showing off this flashy new weapon in order to placate those boneheads.
それに XG70 開発計画に携わっていた連中にしてみれば G 弾を開発した奴らに復讐するチャンスでしょ。
Besides, this is a chance for everyone involved in the XG70's development to get a little payback on the guys who developed the G-bomb.
接収した機体の整備や調整をしているのは当時の開発者たちよ。欠陥兵器のレッテルを貼られた XG70 を諦めきれ
Those people we got working under the Susano are now on the original development team. They refused to give up on it even after it was relegated. Then that engineer you're talking to was someone we stole from the Americans?
ちゃんとアメリカから派遣
Oh no, she's here on her own accord. Isn't America support Alternative 5 largely though, right? Isn't it dangerous to let them down
も
here?
ちろんその手の対策は取っているから大丈夫。それにアメリカだって
Don't worry about it. I've already taken all the necessary precautions. It's like every single American agrees with their country's position, right? Huh?
当たり前でしょ。国連にいろいろな勢力があるようにアメリカにもオルタネイティブ
Why does that surprise you? There are alternative force supporters in the United States, just like there's plenty of different factions in the UN. Right. Well, duh. I mean, of course there's going to be more than one opinion among a country's
クーデター
population.
事件の失敗で軍や議会のオルタネイティブ5推進派は相当突き上げを
The failure during the coup incident seems to have thrown a huge wrench in the plans of Alternative 5 within the US military. Since the US troops weren't the ones who saved the Shogun, right? The pro-American provisional government were dissolved in an instant and they weren't able to regain a foothold in the Far
そ
East.
こにタイミングよく00ユニットが完成したことでアメリカのオルタネイティブ4
And since we finished the 00 unit, there's been a lot of revival for the Alternative 4 support. And that was probably all part of Sensei's plan too. I'm almost positive this is one of the reasons she said the rebellion would be a good opportunity.
その連中が政府と議会を説得したってわけ。オルタネイティブ4の成果によってベータが駆逐された場合に被る
I hope someone does get ripped apart by the field. That would be kind of epic. Those supporters were the ones who got the Congress and the government to play ball by convincing them that America should be in a bad spot if Alternative 4 succeeded. So that's why they handed over to
ロ
Susano.
ックウィードなんて最初に接収を打診した時からずっと乗り気だったからことが決まってからの動きの早い
Lockweed's been on board since the moment negotiations began, so as soon as the government forked it over, they got here in no time. Lockweed? What's
当
that?
時 XG70 開発計画を受注した
One of the American manufacturers that was involved in the XG70's development. Name of a
そ
company
こ
then.
にノースアメリカーナマクダエルドグラムを加えた3社合同プロジェクトとして当時
Yeah,
受注したのよ
it's a project that was in the large three manufacturers, Lockweed and McDale
い
Doglam.
ずれもアメリカ兵器産業を代表する大企業だったけど XG70 計画のキャンセルで全部経営傾いたわけ
They were all big names in the American weapons industry, but XG70's cancellation came as a hit
そ
to all
の
of
後
them.
ノースアメリカーナはロクスウェルにマグダエルドグラムは
Boning.
それぞれ吸収されたわ
Shortly after, North Americana was brought up by Roxwell, McDale Doglam, and by
ロック
Boning.
ウィードだけはマーディン・エラッタ社と合併して未だ健在アメリカ軍の新型戦術機は
It's kind of funny, I like the little play on words here for different manufacturing companies. The only one they still operation is Lockweed, which eventually merged with Martin and Everata. And in fact, I think they're the only ones making the latest TSFs. Raptors, right?
でなんとか生き残ったロックウィード・マーディンが復讐の機会を虎視眈々と伺ってた
Naturally, as a lone survivor, Lockweed Martins has been itching for a chance to get some payback on those G-bomb thugs, even though they're part of the same
そ
country.
れだけ資本主義や個人主義が成熟してるっていうか金の恨みと自社利益優先ってやつね
Financial grudges and corporate interests always come first in the US. They're capitalists to the core, right? Or just individualists, I should
ボー
suppose.
ニングはロクスウェルこそ G 弾開発を受注した企業当然 オルタネイティブ5推進派よ。
Boning and Roxwell were also among the companies that were contracted to develop G-bombs, so naturally they support Alternative 5.
今その2社はグレイ11生成技術の研究で国からとんでもない予算を分取ってるしね。
They're both researching potential methods for creating Grey 11 from scratch, so they've been receiving an insane amount of government funding. So I could see bad blood, or why there's bad blood.
G 弾に偏ったアメリカの対ベータ戦略が転換したら、地道に戦術機開発部門を育ててきたロックウィードは大
If this plan works and America changes its mind about the G-bomb's efficacy, then the Lockheed and its TSF development divisions will make incredible profit. So then they're just putting the company's interests ahead of the country's then.
我こそ正義。故に自社利益こそ国益。
I don't think there's malintent, I just think that they believe they're the good guys, so whatever benefits them would be good for the country.
だからこそ付け入る隙もあったってわけ。まあ、その辺は鎧課長がうまくやってくれたんだ。
So that's how we were able to persuade them, though to be fair, Yoroi deserves most of the credit. I figured he was involved.
そういう連中からブラドゥートで提供される予算もバカにならないから、成果を派手にアピールする必要
Trust me when I say those kind of back alley deals are never cheap, though, so we got an obligation to produce some serious results. Yeah, I get the gist. Gotta keep our investors happy, right?
だけど、本当の目的は
You got it, just don't forget what the true objective is, okay? Yeah, of
私た
course.
ちの手元にあるグレイ11を有効に使うためには、ハイブのリーディングが絶対必要よ。
If we're gonna make the best of what we need of our remaining Grey 11, then we need to get a leading on that
どん
hive.
な情報であれ大きな収穫になる。ハイブの構造的弱点なんて分かったら最高。
Any shred of information we can glean will be huge. If we could identify any structural weaknesses, we'll be set. Because knowing their defenses are thinnest will also make it easier to get hold of more Grey 11, right?
彼らだって何が
Exactly.
コミュニケーションを取っているはず。
And we know they have some sort of means of communicating with each other. If we can get that information about the other hives, the whole world will be singing praise. Kind of thinking about finding out their means of communication was one of the main reasons the alternative program was established, right? But what if this is just a hypothetical? What if Sumika does her reading, the beta respond
そ
peacefully?
の心配はいらないわ。今回はリーディングしかしないから。
You don't need to worry about that. We're not trying to have her communicate. Then what makes you think she'll discover anything beyond what we learned in
可
Alternative
能性
3?
としてはゼロじゃない。だけど、今回は違うわ。
It's possible she won't, but I have a feeling this time will be different.
デ
Why?
ータと数ヶ月間接触し、彼らのコンピューターらしきものにつながっていた経験を持つ鏡スミカがリーディングするのよ。
This reading's been done by Sumika. She was in direct contact with the beta for what we consider to be months, and she has been hooked up to their equivalent of computers.
彼女はもうシミュレーターでベータを見ても取り乱さない。ヤシロたちが見落としたイメージを拾う可能性は十分にあるわ。
Nowadays, she doesn't even flinch when she sees beta. There's a strong possibility she'll pick up on the images which Yashiro and the others missed.
プロジェクション能力のテストをいつ行うかは今回の結果次第ね。
We'll decide when to test her projection ability based on the results of the operation. This time, we just want to know how much information we can
だから
get.
今はまだ彼らに00ユニットの能力を知られるわけにはいかないわ。バッフワイト阻止のような対策を取られたら元も子もないし。
So we can't allow them to find out what the Zero Union's really capable of. After all, they could easily just start making buff white particles on their own and then block her out. Are you saying that buff white particles are made from beta materials
な
too?
かなか鋭いわね。そんな便利なものが世の中に出回らないのはその現在
You've gotten sharp. Yeah, the main reason they haven't been adopted into technology yet is because they're made from an extremely rare substance from the beta. Figured. After all, if we had the technology to transmit thought waves, we'd already be using it in fortified suits. It looks like all of our best weapons for fighting against the beta are made by the
毒を
beta.
持って毒を制すってやつでしょ。なりふりなんて構ってられない
It's just called fighting fire with fire. We're in no position to be picky, that's for sure.
変な話だと思わない。
But it is a little strange, don't you think? What?
ベータはグレイ9やグレイ11、負の質量を持つグレイ6なんて物質まで生成
The beta have the capacity to produce Grey 9 and Grey 11, even Grey 6, which has negative mass. Is that even possible? To create something with negative mass? Hey, wait. Whoa, wait, that's what I just asked. Uh-oh.
そんなものを作り出せるのに
The lines are
兵器
blurring.
は応用してないでしょ。
So why, if they can make these materials, aren't they making weapons out of them? That is a little
彼らの
strange.
着陸ユニットが地球に来た時、地表近くで重力制動を行った形跡があるから全く利用していないわけじゃないらしい。
When they first landed on Earth, we did notice signs of gravity control being used near ground zero, so we could assume they are using them for something. Maybe they're trying to take over Earth without damaging it, or maybe they just don't think we're big enough
わから
threat?
ないわ。真相を知っているのはベータだけ。
I couldn't tell you. That's something only the beta would know. It's definitely possible that the beta have weapons of their own hidden somewhere, and if they do, I'd imagine they're probably much more powerful than the Susanoo, which means it's absolutely crucial we don't let the beta find out what 00 Unit's capable of. Of course, this is all hypothetical. I mean, it's been 30 years since the invasion, and they've never once used advanced weaponry on us. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if they do have some sort of secret trump card. We'll take them out. Not that I would have assumed we'd been able to make short work of the beta, but man, we've got a long road ahead of us. It's only just
そ
begun.
ろそろいいかしら。左脳2型の最終調整。
You mind if we wrap this up? I've got to make final adjustments. Oh yeah, sorry for keeping you so long. I appreciate the answers.
あんたにはまだまだやってもらわなきゃならないことが山ほどあるわ。簡単に死なないでちょうだいよ。
I still have a metric ton of things I'm going to need you to do. Don't get killed tomorrow. I know. You be careful too. See you later then. Metric ton of things left?
白金
Huh?
彼女頼んだわよ。
Keep that girl safe. I will. Here we go. I can hear the noise. Honestly, it doesn't even feel like I'm on a boat. I'm sure that's possibly due to the calm weather, but this ship's massive size is really smooth. Today, it's Christmas Eve, and in the previous timeline, they put Alternative 5 into effect today. I'm having such a hard time believe they planned a huge operation by sheer coincidence.
クリスマスってのはね、2つの。
おや、
一つは一人の子供が人類に夢と希望を与えた日。もう一つはね、大人が子供に夢見させる日。サンタがこんなんじゃあんたも夢なんか持てないでしょ。早く戻って夢の続き見なさいね。
最初の意味はどこ行ったんですか？やっぱり何かに例えたいんじゃないんですか？
私は聖母にはなれなかったとでも言っておきましょうか。
どういう意味ですか？
戻りなさい。時間は普遍的なものじゃないの。いつこの時間が奪われてもおかしくないってことはあんたが一番知ってるでしょうね。
That's gonna be my Christmas costume. If she was trying to be the Holy Mother, I guess that would make Sumika the child in the metaphor, huh? Just over the horizon is Sadogashima, the Beta Hive. This is the stage for our first all-out battle. The first of many encounters with the Beta, the first step towards mankind's victory. We're not losing here. And I'm going to do my part to protect Sumika. We will ensure her safety for the sake of humanity. Oh, Captain! What are you doing out here? Want a drink? Oh god, not rat poison. No, not thirsty. What's up? You can't sleep? Yeah, I guess you could say that. You're not worried about your PTSD tomorrow, right? Oh no, it hasn't been a problem lately, so I pretty much forgot about it until you just brought it up. Good to hear. That's been my number one concern with you. Yeah, the captain's always shown a lot of concern for my condition. She's even went out of her way to get me treatment. Just thinking. Got too much on my mind to fall asleep. That's only natural. This is going to be your first major operation. It's not that I'm nervous or... Okay, maybe I am a little bit. I can't blame you. Everyone gets anxious before a big mission. Even you? Of course, this is the biggest operation I've ever been a part of. Well, so she's nervous too? She doesn't look like it. You know, that makes me feel a lot better. At the end of the day, I may act hard, but I'm just an ordinary girl. You're anything but. You're some kind of superwoman, honestly. What? I mean, it's not just you. All the women around me are so strong. Not just physically. In this day and age, doesn't matter your gender. You gotta be tough enough to survive. True. I got a lot of respect for you guys, seriously. Shirogane? Are you having girl problems? What? No. What the hell? In my experience, a guy babbling about how strong women are just a guy who just got dumped. Wow. Blue checks on Twitter just got blown out. I didn't get dumped. That's a surprise. I've never been wrong about these kind of things. You're surprised. Never in my wildest dreams would I have ever pictured you asking about girl problems. What's that supposed to mean? I mean, you just don't seem like the type to gossip about relationships. So you could trust me with your life, but not your love life? No, not what I mean. I'm just, Or are you just too... Is this your way of covering up the fact you're embarrassed? No, not that either. So tell me what you mean. Oh man, this isn't good. Keep in mind, personal impression. Sure. I just didn't really want to see you get as a person who get involved in other people's personal affairs. You're just like a general rule. You seem to deliberately avoid sticking your nose in business. It's a way to convey that you trust us and expect us to behave like full-fledged pilots, I guess. You're kind of a perfectionist by nature, so once you draw a line in the sand, I'm sure you make it absolutely sure not to cross it. You really think I'm annoying, don't you? I mean, I wouldn't go that far. It's fine, you're right. I don't have any personal interest in anyone else's love lives. Though as a unit commander, I have a responsibility to keep an eye on my squadron's mental health. If someone were to come to me with that kind of advice, I'd try my best to cross-reference their situation with things I've heard from other people and with my own limited experience. Cross-reference, huh? Classic. Besides, if it's relationship advice, you're probably going to want to talk to Munakata. I already told you I didn't get dumped, so can you drop it? If you say so. She thinks I'm lying. Well, I'm sure someone as special as you must have all kind of worries. Special, huh? It's nothing too crazy, and for what it's worth, your guess is not too far off. This is a new song. I didn't get dumped by Sumika, obviously, but I was thinking about a girl, so she was half right. Well, as long as you can keep your emotions in check, that's all that matters to me. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get in the way of the mission. I'm not going to break my pilot code after all. I can't let people see that I'm wavering or stressed out. They'll just get worried about me. It doesn't matter if I'm struggling as long as I don't let it show. After all, the Sumika stuff isn't worth getting stressed out over. I never asked you, did I? What? What are you fighting for? That's something a lot of people ask, but I'm... probably some says something about how uncertain I must look. Unless that's just how they break the ice. Kind of like asking someone's blood type. Take back what I've lost is what I'm fighting for. What you've lost? I've lost a lot of things that matter most to me. Some were stolen, some were I destroyed through my own incompetence. Selfish as it might sound, I want to get them back. Yeah, I like the song too, actually. You're right, it does sound selfish, but perhaps that's just part of the reason you've been assigned to so many missions. I doubt it. You know, back in the 70s, the US military conducted a study on soldier mentality. Soldier mentality? They compared the psychological evaluations of soldiers from both world wars with that of soldiers in the Beta War. They hoped that by identifying such as intrinsically linked to fighting extraterrestrials, they could develop more effective methods for motivating recruits. They got that how are they able to get data from both world wars? They sought out veterans from every country. That must have been some serious time and effort. The US military is always so painstakingly comprehensive. When it comes to war, they always thoroughly explore every avenue so they could possibly grant their country even a slight advantage, even if they had to resort to unethical means. When they asked frontline soldiers what they were fighting for, their answers were very interesting. Like? Take a guess. What do you think the most common was? Probably to protect Earth and their fellow man, but for veterans, I'd say just to protect their respective countries. That was the answer given by soldiers prior to deployment. No kidding, huh? And sure, there are probably a few who still feel that way once they're on the battlefield. But the general trend was that only those who were largely unfamiliar with the horrors of war would give those kind of idealistic answers, perhaps through the effect of propaganda. This was doubly true for the soldiers' families and those who deployed them. Many used grandiose language as a coping mechanism to deal with the harsh reality of sending young people off to war. So if it wasn't to protect the Earth, protect their families then? Nope, that other reason was the only one prior to deployment. It's the one they tell their family, or the ones the families believe the most. As it turns out, the most common answers was that they were fighting for their comrades. Surprisingly enough, that was the actual most common sentiment in both test samples, whether against the beta or against the humans.
同じ戦火をくぐり抜け、苦楽を共にしてきた戦友を死なせたくない。だから必死に戦うことができるという。
They couldn't bear to see their comrades in arms die after enduring so many battles and hardships together, so that's what gave them the strength to fight their last
大
breath.
きく差があって、時点が敵に対する恐怖らしい。
The next most common answer at a distant second was those who fought out of fear of the enemy.
例えば、独ソ戦末期、敗走したドイツ軍の奮戦がそれだ。
I was gonna say, there's a whole bunch of really interesting stuff that you guys could look at talking about interviews with post-soldiers of German soldiers in World War II, and they pretty much all say that at the very end. Like, their primary reason for fighting was just fear of Marxism taking over the country. There's actually a really famous video that talks that they interview former soldiers at like a museum, and that's exactly what they say. This was the primary reason as to why the German army fought so desperately at the end of the Soviet war.
ソビエト軍の捕虜になったら、
Yep.
何をされるかわからないという恐怖が、装備も指揮も。
Or obviously, same thing you could argue with the Czechoslovakians when the Soviets took over them. They just didn't want to go to the gulag. The fear of what the Soviets might do to them as prisoners gave them the strength to make a final stand. And that's basically the position of humanity as a whole. I could definitely see fear being a common motivator, but apparently concern for our comrades tends to come first. So what are you fighting for then?
私か。
Let's see.
私も結局は仲間のために戦っているな。隣で戦っている戦友を。
I'm also one fighting for my comrades. I'll do anything to keep them alive, even if only for a few seconds. I can understand that, but as I must say, I'm a little surprised. A more simplistic answer than I'd expect from the leader of a special task force like
だからといって
AO1.
人類の勝利やオルタネイティブ計画の成功という目的がぶれているわけでは
But that doesn't take precedence over my duty to ensure alternative for success and
背
humanity's
後に
victory.
突入しろという命令があれば生還の可能性が低くてもそれに従う。
If my orders told me to infiltrate a hive, I'd follow it to a T, even if I had virtually no chance of survival.
実際に突入した後にはその目的だけで戦い切るのは難しいのかもしれないな。
But once I got inside, I don't think the mission alone would be enough to keep me motivated to
それ
fight.
はもっとこう直接的な目の前にある何かのために命を懸けたいという
Probably because I'd want something more tangible, something concrete that I could realistically lay down my life to
自
accomplish.
分の死は決して無駄ではないという何がしかの意味を求めているのか。
Genuinely speaking, perhaps I just want my death to be meaningful.
まあそれはどのみちある種のセンチメンタリズム。
Either way, it mostly boils down to sentimentalism.
いつの間にかそう思うようになってしまっていたな。しかも実践を重ねるたびに
I didn't always have that mindset, but I guess it's something I developed over time, and the more I spend on the battlefield, the stronger it becomes. Makes sense. When you've got to witness the horrors of war, and cope with the fact that you could die at any minute, no light at the end of the tunnels keeps you sane. Those who have yet to see true combat might talk about saving the world, but those who just want something tangible to hold on to. There's a famous quote from Bismarck that says something very similar, about the only people who are warmongers are those who've never seen their best friend die on the battlefield. I wonder if I'll start to feel the same way after this
私
battle.
が見るに貴様はすでにその域を通り過ぎてしまっているような気がする。
As far as I can tell, I think you're well beyond that point,
だ
huh?
からこそさっき貴様が言っていた戦う理由に到達したんじゃ
You've
ない
already found yourself a concrete personal reason to fight, but I haven't even been in a real battle.
確かにそうなんだ。だが
True,
不思議なことに
but for
貴
some
様
odd
は
reason you give off the impression you have.
だからこそ納得する。
That's why it's easy for me to accept there's something special about you. I'm not that special,
部下の
really.
死を任務として割り切りながらもそれを支えにしなければ死に向き合えない私には貴様のような考え方はできないだろう。
I could accept the deaths of my subordinates as part of our mission, but that's the only thing that makes it bearable. I don't think I'll ever find a sense of purpose as strong as yours. Sure, I'd never go out of my way to save a comrade if it meant compromising the mission, but even so, I don't want to lose my
分かっ
friends.
ている。貴様の戦う理由にはそれが含
I
ま
know
れてい
you
ると
don't,
言
and I
って
think
い
your
る。
reason for fighting encompasses
貴様
that.
の戦う理由を簡単に言えば自分のためということ
In
だ。
a nutshell, you said you're fighting for your own benefit,
これまでの貴様の言動からそこに極端な
but I've
理
never
性
seen
が
you
感
act
じられ
selfish.
自分のために戦いながら結果的に他者をも救おうとする。
You fight for yourself, but you just want a way that may benefits
理
others.
想論を掲げているんだ。
As far as I'm concerned, that makes you the ideal soldier. That's probably just because I still don't have any true combat
確かに
experience.
実践ではないがあれほどの体験をしながらも今それを口にできるのは
That may be true, but in a sense. But if you think that what you experience doesn't count, you're either fearless or a moron. All I did was run away from my problems. Hell, I wouldn't even be here right now if they hadn't followed me back to my world. Even now, I still find myself questioning my resolve. I think you're probably giving me too much credit, though I'm not exactly sure myself. Well, for what it's worth, my vote goes for you to be not in a moron category column. Thanks for the pity vote, then. And here you said you were feeling nervous. With that attitude, you're gonna do just fine. Oh, please, it's only because you helped me unwind. Whatever you say. In any event, I'm sure you'll learn a thing or two about yourself from this mission. Maybe so. On second thought, I think the captain might be right. Maybe I have the right mentality. I've got both an ultimate long-term goal of restoring the world to their rightful order, and a more immediate personal goal of protecting Sumika, something tangible to keep me motivated. As of right now, the final objective is to get rid of whatever it is that's causing me to be a casualty conductor and break the cycle, and set these worlds back to normal. And I still intend to exterminate the beta along the way. There's no denying that having Sumika here with me, even as a 0-0 unit, it gives me the strength to push forward. But I can't deny it's the reason I'm also conflicted. I'm trying my best to make our relationship professional for the sake of the mission, but I can't help but having feelings for her. And I think that's probably the reason I have doubts about resolve. Well, I wonder what the captain would do. A hypothetical question. What? Let's say you're going out with someone from your own unit and they also happen to play an integral role in your overall mission. That's complicated. What's the scenario? If you were in that position, how much would you let your feelings influence the way you carry out duties? I never put myself in that position to begin with, but that's not what you're looking for. Right. Oh, and don't give me a stock like the mission comes first. I want to know how you really feel. How I really feel. I mean, only as much as you're feeling comfortable. Well, given the way you worded the question, it's less about me and more about this problem. She saw right through me. That's obvious, though. I'm not sure if this is related to your special mission or if you're just asking for personal advice, but if it'll help, I can give you an answer. I'd appreciate it. Well, given that I'm a weakling, I do everything I possibly could for them, short of sabotaging our mission. That doesn't sound like you at all. You're so resolute and conscientious. I never felt like you would get your emotions in the way. She kept her wits about after Jiguji's death, after our one-and-done crash course, and whenever commanding. I'm only conscientious because I'm terrified of failure, and I act resolute so I don't let weakness show. What? Really? Oh, dang, what an opening up moment. You know she's gonna die. Earlier you called me a perfectionist, but the reason you saw through me is because I try extremely hard to conceal my fears and my lack of self-confidence. She puts in all that effort to compensate for shortcomings? That's not something you would do without recognizing your own weaknesses, though. Besides, I'm pretty clever. I'd never be sure not to tip off anyone that I was giving him preferential treatment out of romantic affection. So that's where attention to detail will come in handy, and I'm sure she'd do that with as much precision as everyone. That's just common courtesy, especially in a scenario like the one you proposed. So even a stern commander like the captain would let her emotions influence actions. We're all human, then. Of course, to pull that off without anyone noticing, you need to be capable of looking at the situation and your own actions from a calm, objective standpoint. The fact that she's cautious and scrupulous enough to manage that, that's what makes her commander material. Jiguji said something similar. However, I doubt I'd be able to maintain a relationship with this comrade. Why? Circling back to our reasons for fighting, when I first enlisted, I only enlisted so that way I could see a certain guy again. She's got some dude waiting on the outside? But as I said before, the more time I spent in battle, the more I wanted to protect my comrades. Of course, I still desperately want to see him again. It's just that now the desire to keep my teammates alive overshadows everything else. If she knew the truth about Unit A01, she wouldn't have been thinking about the chance of seeing him again. Interesting. So even in that hypothetical scenario, my desire to protect my comrades might eventually outweigh my feelings for love. What makes you think that? If it came to that, I might actually start being a lot harder on them specifically, but from just because of the foreshadowing from Tsukiyomi, right, about protecting her and her going postal. To be honest, I feel like you might just approach it from that way from the start. Well, that's possible. I hope that answer helped you. The captain has no idea that everyone in AO1 was brought in their viability to test as a 00 unit candidate. If she knew the fate that was in store for these candidates, she wouldn't have been thinking about meeting him again. She's not that sort to indulge in wishful thinking. Even if she were chosen and successfully transferred her own memories and personality, the 00 unit is a military secret. She'd never be allowed to meet with her old acquaintances. So this guy you're talking about is like what, your lover? Lover? As of right now, my feelings are unrequited. Yeah. If he's not family, there's no way she'd ever see him again. Nobody in AO1 knows the real reason it was established, which means they don't know about Sumika. I'm gonna pry a little more. Probably? That's vague. Well, I have these 3 fierce rivals who are vying for his affection. I'm completely spineless. He's got 4 girls after him? What a chick magnet. Or maybe because there's not many men left. Chick magnet? Oh! Man, I thought that one was said in this timeline. A dude popular with the ladies. Why didn't you just let those other girls know you're a captain? That might scare him off. Is she talking about him? No, that wouldn't make sense, though. We already know each other. Flaunting my insignia is not going to go ahead and intimidate him. Sisters? You have 3 sisters? Oh, the sisters, sorry. You have 3 sisters and you're in love with the same guy? Holy smokes, what a mess. Yeah. We've never spoken, but it's plain as day. We all have the same awful taste in men. Are you the oldest? Nope, there's one older than me. She's the second oldest then. I pictured her being the eldest. And they're all alive? At least for now. My older sister is in Ministry of Internal Affairs, the other 2 are surface pilots in the Imperial Army, and so is the man in question. If they're in the IJA, she could have ended up fighting her own loved ones during the coup then. So it's not just me and the rest of my squad. Even the captain, who was never a political hostage, had her fair share of inner conflict. She may call herself a spineless weakling and say she's carried out her duties back then, but most importantly, will they be involved in this operation too? In the interest of confidentiality, I haven't asked, but looking from my list, my youngest sister is participating. She must be part of Whiskey then. They're the ones who will be charging in first to create the diversion. So you must be really worried. I am, but all I can do is have my faith in her. I have my own mission to focus on. The one saving grace in all this, though, is that she doesn't know our unit's involved. She's wet behind the ears, so she didn't know it would be a big distraction. It's the first time I've ever been glad to be in a top secret unit like AO1. She's incredible. I'm sure she's really worried sick. And I don't mean that because she's forcing herself not to mention it against the surface pilot code. But even with the set of unwritten rules to adhere, I think she's still too iron-willed to show any sign of weakness. I'm almost positive that she was torn up by the Sergeant Jinguzi's death on the inside. I know the Sergeant's teachings really resonated with her. She wanted to cry until she got back to her room like Jinguzi did, I can guarantee it. She never once let the rest of the Academy see her grieving. To be honest, getting all solemn and sympathetic on her behalf is pretty presumptuous of me, but I can't really help myself. I haven't gotten the hang of this surface pilot code. I agree it's in her best interest not to know, but I would be too grateful if I were you. Huh? Don't you see? Once this operation's over, your sister's gonna have the upper hand on you. How do you mean? Well, your crusher gonna be worried sick about her for the duration of the mission. He'll come away from this feeling a lot more attached to her. And since AO1 is shrouded in a veil of mystery, he'll have no idea you were even involved. You have a point. So once it's all over, get out there, strut your stuff. Strut my stuff, huh? You got it. Sure, maybe you can't talk about the mission, but you could drop a few subtle hints. Subtlety doesn't work on him, trust me. You could at least say that until you've given it a shot. No, he's just dense. What do you mean? If he could take a hint, he would have been with us by now. Gotcha.
仕方がない。
To be fair, though, he's also a family friend since childhood. We just spent that much time around each other. Your childhood friends?
なんだ急に。
Oh, based?
幼馴染がそんなに珍しいのか。
Why so surprised? No, the girl I like is a childhood friend of mine
なん
too.
だ、貴様もか。いいか。幼馴染はサインが見えにくいから、わかりやすくアピールしろよ。
No kidding, listen up. When you've known someone for that long, it's impossible for them to pick up on any signals you're sending. Make it obvious. It's too late for that. I was the dense one in this scenario.
なんだと。ということは、貴様が
She was
その子に好かれたのか。
Courting you? I feel the same way about her, but I never finally realized what those feelings meant. She had no idea that the two of us felt the same way about each other since we were little.
一瞬。
I could strangle you. What? Sorry? I didn't quite catch that, but it didn't sound like the captain I know.
いや、なんでもないわ。じゃなくって、なんでもない。
Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Don't
と
sweat
に
it.
かく、今の話からすると、とりあえず互いの思いは。
Anyhow, it sounds like you finally realized each other's feelings, so that's what matters. Congratulations. I appreciate it.
参考までに聞くが、貴様はどうして相手の
Out of curiosity, what made you realize you had feelings for her? Shoot, I remember that Sumika and I started dating, but I can't remember the details. How did we start going out? I'm feeling I'm remembering something major. Forgetting something major. It's been 3 years. This isn't something I should have trouble remembering.
何よ。あんたにはいろいろ教えてあげたじゃない。
What the hell?
教えてくれたって。
I spilled my guts out, now you're not going to tell me anything, Captain.
いや、その
Sorry, it's okay. The Captain's showing her true colors. She's more aggressive than Hayase. It's pretty obvious how strong she feels about this guy, and added fuel on the fire with her little sister. I got a responsibility. I'm trying to remember.
いや、無理にとは。
It's fine, you're not obligated to tell me. No, it's okay. When did I start realizing I had feelings for her? There's one huge aha moment I can distinctly recall. That was it. Okay, I got it.
そうか。で、何が。
What was it? There was a time when the two of us were in a hot spring together and she washed my back. It hit me.
何。それはもちろん。
You were both naked? Yeah, that's kind of how hot springs
貴様の
work.
恋人をなかなか抱いたんだな。うん。確かにそこまでやれば。
Your sweetheart must be bold then. But if you were to go that far, don't like him would get the message. Yeah, and you're used to being seen in a fortified suit. It's a piece of cake for you.
貴様は乙女心というものが全く分かってないな。
You really don't know the first thing about how girls operate, do you? What's that supposed to mean? No offense. You're not exactly the most feminine person I know.
貴様の恋人がそこまでの勝負に出ざるを得なかった気持ちが我がことのように理解できるな。
The fact that she had to go that far in order to win you over, I could relate to her. What makes you say that?
強化装備で羞恥心が麻痺していようが、好きな人の前で裸になるのは全く別の。
I have no shame wearing my fortified suit in front of my squad, but being nude in front of the person I have a crush on is a different
そ
story.
れはタイの連中からその辺のことをよく叩き込んでもらえ。私がみんなに言っておいてやる。
The rest of your unit really needs to bash some sense into your thick skull. You don't need to do that. Now you're just blowing things out of
おそらく
proportion.
私は貴様の恋人と異常に話が合うはずだ。いや、絶対に。
I bet your lover and I could do some serious commiserating. Now I'm positive. Hey, calm down, calm down.
そんな男に惚れる女もしょうがないと言えばしょうがない。
Not that we're any better falling for idiots like you two. Right.
とにかく貴様は絶対に生きて帰ってその子に今までの償いをすること、死ぬことは絶対に許さん。
Anyway, you're required to survive this mission and make it up to her. I forbid you from dying, you hear
これ
me?
は命令だ。副将
This is an order. I will survive a mission and make it up to Sumika. Oh, no, I let her name slip. Well, that's fine. No one knows who she is.
スミカというのか。美しい名だな。貴様が生きている限り大切にしてやる。
Sumika, huh? A beautiful name. Take care of her. No need to make it an order. I've got it under control now. Okay, now you're just getting me mad. Hey, Captain.
冗談だ。
Kidding. This girl's got some serious manipulation tactics. No wonder she's able to boss Hayase and Munakata.
さて、長くなってしまったな。私は戻るが、貴様はどうする？
Well, that conversation went longer than expected. I'm gonna head back inside. I'm gonna stay out here for a
そう
while.
か。だが、できる限り多く寝ておけよ。特に貴様はあまり薬物に
I
入れない
see.
んだ
Well,
から
try to get as much sleep as you can today. You're the last person I want to see relying on stimulants. Yes, ma'am. I think I've done well everything with sleeping pills and stimulants. I'm done with it. After everything the captain did to help me combat PTSD, I'm not having another flashback. So, I'm glad we had the chance to talk things over. Thanks for lending me your
私も
ear.
勉強になった。この任務が終わって
It was informative. Once this mission's over, I'm going to take some leave so I can plan Operation Hot Spring. May the winds of fortune be at your back then. Never would have suspected any of that, but it's probably just because I never talked at length with the captain. I wish I could have had a chance to open up to her sooner. Maybe then I would have had an easier time dealing with Yuko and Sumika. I guess I just felt too awkward to start a conversation knowing the way she saw me at my lowest point.
タケルさん、
Well, what's up? You couldn't sleep either?
なんとなくね。タケルさんは
Not really. What about you, Takuro? Just stuff on my
明
mind.
日のことだよね。
About tomorrow, I'm guessing? Yeah, something like
似
that.
たようなことって
What do you mean? Sorry, it's just something that I was talking to the captain about earlier. We had this big long discussion about what drives people to fight.
そうだったんですか。
No, you don't say. She told me about the study that the US military did on some soldier mentality, which found the overwhelming majority of troops' greatest motivation for fighting is to keep comrades alive.
戦友のために。
To protect comrades, huh? According to the study, once soldiers hit the battlefield, all their lofty heroic goals like defending their country and family fall in favor and try more tangible short-term goals. Now that I'm talking it out with someone, you could feel this idea really solidifying with me. So it's nothing to do with my comrades, but I used to talk a big game about how I was going to save humanity. But when push came to shove, I couldn't even man up and give the Shogun Triazolam. If all you got is some huge, vague, long-term goal, you're going to be discouraged. Unless you've resolved to a saint, you've got to need a more concrete goal to keep you motivated. Actually, anyone who can get by with that one is pretty amazing now that I think about it. What are you fighting for?
私はベータに勝ってやりたいことを叶えるために
I'm fighting because I want to do things after the beta. Like,
軍人としてではなく国連の職員になって
I want to rebuild the
世界
world,
の復興につな
not
げ
as
た
a
いです。
soldier, but as a public servant.
そ
Awesome.
していつかフィンランドに行くんです。
And I want to go to Finland someday. Finland. That's where that surface pod under Major Walken's command came from. Say her name, Takuru Urma. I guess Tama wants to keep that promise to her.
私は125事件の時パパのせいでいろんな人たちがひどい目に遭ったことをどうやって受け止めればいいか
During the December 5th incident, I didn't know how to deal with the fact that horrible things were happening to people because of what my dad did.
パ
Tama.
パだって日本のために一生懸命にやっているって分かっているのに目の前で起きている現実に押しつぶされそうになって
I know he's just trying to do everything he can for Japan, but when all that happened, it felt like reality came crashing
武井
down.
さんに胸張ってろって励ましてもらってそう思うように頑張ったけどどうにもならなくて
I appreciate you trying to cheer me up, but no matter how I tried, I couldn't be.
でもあの時の三剣さんや榊さんを見ていたら私はなんて弱いんだ
When
ろ
I
う
saw how well Mitsurugi and Sakaki were handling the situation, I felt ashamed of how weak I was. Considering she had a hunch to Maya's true identity, I'm sure that little exchange with the Shogun confirmed suspicion. Even after she was ripped away from her sister at such a young age, Maya held fast to her conviction. The class rep kept her cool, even though her father was assassinated. Seeing that sort of dedication and resolve would make anyone start to think about their relationship with their family.
アメリカ軍の人たちだってみんなだって私なんか比べ物にならない
Everyone had endured so much pain and more sadness and pain than I did, even the Americans, but you kept on fighting.
私はすごく甘えていたんだって
And that's when I realized I had just been a huge cryberry, compared to everyone.
武井さんだって神宮寺軍曹のことがあった直後に一番辛い時に
Like you,
一人で
Takaru.
任務に出て
You were affected by Jinguji's death more than anyone, but you pulled it together and went out on a solo mission. That's not what happened. You're wrong. Yuko's forbidden me from revealing the truth, but even so, I'm tired of people treating me like a hero. I ran away from the pain. That's the only way I could say it.
それでもすごいですよ
That's amazing, though, too.
私だったらたとえ逃げるためでも別の任務なんてこなせ
If I were
ない
in
し
your shoes, I don't think I could have even taken the mission. Or completed it.
それに結果として任務も達成したんだからやっぱりすごいことです
But
よ
you still accomplished it somehow, so you're incredible. I didn't accomplish anything, though I suppose I did come back with firmer resolve, and the knowledge that I'm a casualty conductor, and that I could fix the timelines. I guess that's an achievement.
タケルさんが任務に行った後みんなで話し合ったんです
After you left your mission, all of us got together and talked it out. We decided we should try harder, too.
だからみんなタケルさんに感謝しています
So we're all grateful for what you did. I had no clue they talked. I can't betray their trust in me more than I have. I'll use all of my hardships and everything I learned after I ran away to help this world. That's the only way I could hope to live up to their expectations. I was already determined to do whatever I can, but now that I know this, the resolve is even stronger than before. Could I ask you something, Tama? How do you feel about your father?
パパのこともパパのお仕事も尊敬してるよ
Sure, I admire him and everything he does. That's
考
good.
え方の違ういろいろな人たちが自分の信じた道を命がけで進んでいる姿
I
を
learned to respect him after seeing all sorts of people with all kinds of viewpoints, risking for what they believed in. People like Yuko, Shogun, Lieutenant Tsukiyomi, Sagiri, Major Walken, Tama's dad, Class Rep's dad, Ayamene's dad, Chief Hiroi. The fact is, it's next to impossible to make decisions that satisfy everyone. So I find it admirable when people don't shy away from their responsibilities. When they're willing to make the tough calls no one else can.
私は揉め事になるような結果を予想して結局何もしなかった。
I couldn't think of anything that might have stopped the fighting, so I just didn't do anything at all.
もっと頑張らなきゃいけませんよね。
I'm meant to do a lot better than that, huh? Wow, Tom, I could tell you've really matured. In my case, I've never stopped believing that we're in the right because we're fighting to save Earth and humanity. But I have to admit I was conflicted back then.
タケルさんが
You were too? Yeah, but thanks to the 12-5 incident and everything that happened afterwards, I've gained a much clearer image of the big picture now. Now I feel like I have an even more long-term goal as well as a concrete short-term
人
one.
類を救うよりもっと先の
A more long-term goal in saving humanity? It's a little vague, but I want to fix everything I've broken and regain what I once held dear. That sounds tough. You see, when I was out there on the front lines surrounding some people I never thought I'd see
見
again.
ないと思っていた人
People you thought you'd never see again. I don't want to lose them again, so I decided to do everything in my power to prevent that. I'll fight and bear the weight that's been placed on my shoulders. I don't blame you for looking confused, that was all vague, but I can't risk leaking sensitive information.
じゃあ身近な目標は
So then what was the short-term goal? Oh, that one's even tougher. I can't mention Sumika. Well, how could I explain this without divulging anything? I just can't clam up now. She'll know something's up.
私自分を変えるためにもっと頑張ります
Takaru, I'm trying hard to change who I am. Oh, you're right. You mentioned that earlier.
ちょっと勇気を出して余計なことを聞いちゃいます
So, I'm going to be brave and ask something I probably shouldn't have. You work fast,
明日
kid.
どうなるかわからないので今やれることをやっておきたいんです
We don't know what will happen tomorrow, so I want to make sure we can. Hey, come on, you don't want to jinx us, right? I mean, she's right that we might not make it out of this alive, but
タケルさん
what is it?
昨日の夜ハンガーに来た女の子は
Last time I saw a girl visit you in the hangar. Oh, she saw us? I could have sworn everyone was done with the repairs. I figured I was in the clear.
その人と関係
Are you two in a relationship? What do? I can't just spill the beans.
ごめんなさい別に見るつもりはなかった
I'm sorry, it's not like I was trying to spy or anything, but it's fine. Dang, Sumika, why'd you have to surprise me like that? Safest option here would not be telling her anything at all, but...
もういいんですミキもちょっと今までと違うところを見せたくて
Don't worry about it, I just want to practice being a little bit more assertive for a change, that's all. I know I shouldn't care what the others think of me so long as the mission is successful, but they're the ones who are going to be helping me protect this Hero Zero unit. So letting them know won't give us the wrong idea.
下の作戦で
So during tomorrow's operation, even if I can't tell her the whole truth, I do owe her an explanation. Like the captain said, she and I have been through a hell of a lot together. Tama, I'm not trying to hold out on you, it's just a tricky subject. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to explain it.
もういいんです
Well, you don't have to. No, it's fine. Hear me out. That girl you saw me working with is the one of Yuko's special missions. I'm not at the liberty to tell you who she is or anything like that. I know I should have told you that from the start. I was just flustered to find out we'd been spending together. Completing that mission is my new short-term objective. That's why I hesitated to tell you what it was.
いいんですよ特殊任務のこと私が聞くのが間違ってるんですから
It's okay. I shouldn't have asked you about your special mission to begin with. It's my bad. I should have been straight with you from the
私こ
start.
そ無理に言わせちゃって
But I still forced it out of you, so I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. I only gave you absolutely basics, so...
そうですか
If you say so. Anyways, it sounds like we've both taken a big step in the right direction. Let's keep moving forward.
はいよろしくお願いします
Right, let's take it one step at a time. Yep, tomorrow's gonna be our first real battle
身
after
近
all.
な戦う理由は人類の勝利が叶って初めて
Right,
達
and I
成できる
can't start
もので
working
すよね
towards my personal goal until humanity wins. That's the spirit.
じゃあ明日に備えて
Well then,
私は寝ますね
time to get sleep. Sounds
お
good.
やすみなさい
Good night, Takaru. Yeah, night to you
タケル
too.
さんも早く寝なきゃダメだよ
Get to bed soon too. Yeah, we'll do. She can't stop working on her personal goal till humanity wins. That was well said. Come to think of it, for someone who thought their father could do no wrong, then she had her notions shattered, the fact she's starting to respect him again is a sign of remarkable growth. It's honestly a relief. I couldn't tell what Tama was dealing with after that incident, after the coup, so I had no way of helping her, so I'm glad she's okay. Everyone's gotten so much mature and I'm not going to fall behind.
全く何やってんだか
Oh man, what is that girl doing? What? Kashiwagi, you're up here too? Looks like everyone's having trouble sleeping. Well, this is Kashiwagi's first operation, so it makes
なんて
sense.
いうか見てられないわね
Dang, he's gonna talk to every single person for like an hour. The day's gonna go by. That was hard to watch. What are you talking
まあ
about?
いいけどね
None of my business. What kind of answer is that? Ugh.
ところでどう
What's up? How's our service pilot prodigy holding up before his first big battle? Stop calling me that. Something special. There you go, being modest again. You're a total prodigy, no doubt about it. And it must be true. Gee, thanks. Don't believe me? I know I don't just flatter people. I'm aware, but this is different. I get to watch you from a distance, so you can trust me when I say you've got some serious moves. Pretty sure a real prodigy would have been able to stay in sync with the rest of the unit. You still hung up with what Akane said the other day? I mean, she was right after all. Partially, sure. But I think it's more just that the rest of the unit hasn't caught up to you. We're acquainted with the XM3, but we're still using the old textbook techniques. I mean, we haven't had any many chances to watch you do your thing yet. I was bound to take a while to adjust. I guess you got a point. Everyone from 207B pilot's a lot like you. You've been a huge influence on them. You think? I think that's a big reason why 3 members of 207B were appointed as Storm Vanguard, but their attitude probably played a major part too. I can see why Lieutenant Hayase started to feel the pressure, not to mention the rest of our senior officers. The others too? There's a reason why Munakata and Cosmo are always together. They discuss how to better keep up with you and Mitsurugi. And since I'm the left impact guard, they brought me into some of the conversations too. When Munakata kicked us out of the classroom the other day so we wouldn't miss lunch, it was actually that she just didn't want to see you talking about it. I'm guessing it's just a matter of pride to them, seeing as they got seniority over us. I think Akane saw that those two were struggling, so that's why she came after so harshly the other day. She was worried about you guys. That makes sense. She's a gun sweeper, meaning she spends lots of time right up next to the Storm Vanguard. She could probably see more coordinating that well. Though, considering how much stronger our unit's become since you guys joined, I really don't think she has any business giving you guys advice. Well, you're as unsympathetic as ever. Oh, please, like you're not as cold-hearted as I am. You're right, I'm nothing like you. We're both freak shows out here, let's get along. Oh, stop. I'm not like you at all. You may be brutally honest and borderline emotionless, but you're still trying to look out for me. You're considerate. I can't even take care of myself, let alone Sumika. What's that new weapon called? The Susano Mark II? Oh yeah, that's right. I sure hope the test for it goes well tomorrow. If it doesn't, we're going to be in deep stuff. The future of mankind depends on that thing. If everything goes well and the Susano becomes a new standard for hive operations, maybe my brothers won't have to fight. Is that what you're fighting for? I guess that's selfish of me, huh? No, I wouldn't say that at all. Everything I'm doing is for Sumika's sake or to undo damage. I'm in no position to judge anyone else's motivations, but at the very least, you're not selfish. Even if frontline soldiers say they're fighting to protect their comrades, I don't believe for a second they're not concerned about families. So you're fighting so that your brothers won't have to, right? It's about to start. Uh-oh. I guess. What's that supposed to mean? Well, now that you're making me think about it, I'm not so sure anymore. Yeah, she did say she was looking for a higher purpose as a fool's errand, right? Maybe I shouldn't have asked. But I guess it's pretty important to have those kind of priorities, isn't it? Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it's that way for everyone, but for me, that's the only way I could ever make any progress. Though, to be honest, I think it's less that I got my priorities straight and more that I got a lot of advice from other different people, and finally everything clicked. This sounds pretty rough. Well, I only have myself to blame for that. Uh-oh. Now you guys got me worried. Maybe I ought to give a little more thought to what my real priorities are, and that's what I'm fighting for. I mean, what does it matter? You've done just fine so far without any clear-cut answers. I'm not from this world to begin with, so I had no choice but to get my priorities straight. But, as long as you could fight, you don't need to have them set in stone. But I have to admit, I am curious. Well, it's time for me to get some sleep. That's a good idea. You should come inside too, otherwise you'll probably get another night, another girl talking your ear off again. I think everyone's having trouble sleeping with that big battle tomorrow and everything, especially the guys from 207B. You really don't have a clue, do you? About? Ah, nothing. Good night, you dope. Don't leave me hanging. Oh, the main theme. Wait, this is so cool. What the heck? Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream right now. No, I'm just kidding. Admiral Kazuha, this is Abe of the Shinano. All ships in the 2nd Squadron are prepared for battle. We wait your order to attack. Excellent. You're going to be spearheading our terrestrial forces. Don't let us down. Understood. Abe is eager, isn't he? Aren't we all, Iguchi? True enough. After all, we were all there the day that the island fell into enemy hands. Whoa, I'm assuming that's the hive. Or the monument, I should say. I've relived that battle in my nightmares 1,000 times. It feels like yesterday. I've never dreamed I'd live to see the day we take it back. We have to ensure this operation's success. It's the only way to avenge all the brave souls who died that day. All of them will watch over us today, as we finally drive the beta from Japanese soil. I'm sure they will. UN orbital bombers have dropped re-entry bombs. Whoa. Looks like an attack out of Dragon Ball. Everything's going so well. Then again, I guess they did just so have to combine ammo reserves of the IJF and the UN. You know what? For immersion, I'm not going to read off the military commands. It's time. Humanity's going on the offensive against the beta. What the? We have animated cutscenes? Are you kidding? 海兵隊の恐ろしさを奴らに思い知らせろ。すべて蹴散らせ。了解。ヘッドクォーターよりリスキー揚陸艦隊上陸に備えよ。繰り返す。上陸に備えよ。旧川原田本町一帯の面制圧を完了。連合艦隊第2戦隊旧伊畑新町に向け攻撃を継続中。 Oh, our guys.
帝国軍戦術飛行手段の各隊は順次発進せよ。
スティングレイ1よりヘッドクォーター視線砲撃要請ポイント S コーニーの47重レーザー級が接近中だ。
ヘッドクォーター了解。戦術規模感高尾敵のレーザー照射を受けてます。
高尾に残っている戦術機を至急発進させろ。第2逃げろ。視線砲撃まだか。
高尾に敵のレーザー照射多数。弾着確認。
帝国連合艦隊第2戦隊は依然健在。現在砲撃を継続中。
ウィスキー部隊旧八幡新町および旧川原田本町を確保。部隊
バルキリーマムより各機エコー揚陸艦隊は現在
Alright, I'll start reading now.
向け最大戦争
Any HQ stuff I won't immersion, but I will for the characters. Valkyrie bombed all units. Echo landing forces currently heading south in Rio 2 Bay at full speed. We'll enter the combat zone in.
揚陸艦隊の被害甚大なれど作戦の続行に支障なし。合金80戦術規模感49大破52。
We're taking a ton of casualties and we've only just landed. The TSF carriers and the landing crafts have by far the most fatalities, and they don't even have to get the closest to the island. They don't even have that kind of anti-laser armor that a battleship would. God dang. I know this is all part of the plan, but it hurts like hell to sit here and watch while our allies get slaughtered.
ヘッドクォーターよりウィスキーアルファ旧高塚まで南下しつつ戦線を維持せよ。
If you only want Reconnecting stuff, then I might as well just do that then. You guys have to let me know. Sorry about that. That's where the first Lieutenant Tsukiyomi, the three idiots, and the captain's sister. Valkyrie 1 to all units.
エコー部隊の両津港上陸も近い。各機緊急事態に備えろ。
Oh. Thanks for the heads up. Echo units about to land in Rio 2 Bay. Everyone brace
部
yourselves.
隊の母艦は沿岸部からのレーザー照射でかなり
You know what? Then I'll just go ahead and read Takuru's
い
stuff
つで
then.
も発進できるようにしておけ。高21号目標より師団規模のベータ軍出現。ウィスキー本体を目標に南下中。
Whiskey's unit's already taken a lot of damage at this point, but I'm not going to go down with the ship.
ヘッドクォーターよりエコー艦隊現時刻をもって作戦はフェーズ3に移行。砲撃を開始せよ。目標旧両津市全艦戦車準備よし。
全艦砲撃開始。
ヘッドクォーターよりエコー揚陸艦隊全艦艦載機発進準備。繰り返す全艦艦載機発進準備。
All units prepare for takeoff. Oh yeah. Me and the squad about to go fight the beta. It's about time.
エコーアルファ1よりヘッドクォーター全艦艦載機発進準備よし。ヘッドクォーター了解。全機発進せよ。繰り返す全機発進せよ。
行くぞバルキリーズ。前期続け。
Alright, all units move out. I can't even imagine how cool this is going to be animated. We're rolling him. Alright, 3 hours in.
ウイスキー全体の損耗率 33%。
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. We're 7 to 1ing them.
共に作戦継続に支障なし。
Oh wait, no, they're down 33%. That's not
ウ
too
イスキー
great.
主力部隊は旧沢根、旧
But,
高
but the
瀬
boys
に
are
戦線を
doing
構
good.
築。
That's what matters.
部隊最後尾は旧久保田を放棄、前進中。
エコー主力部隊は旧北松ヶ崎を確保。なおも北上中。
現時刻をもって本作戦の
The greatest match ever played?
を宣言する。
ヘッドクォーターより全軍に次ぐ。作戦は第4段階へ移行。繰り返す。作戦は第4段階へ移行。
帝国軍、よく踏ん張ってくれている。
光月副司令、佐渡島背後の殲滅は日本の宿願。国連軍との共同作戦とはいえ、この戦いは帝国の存亡をかけた我々自身の戦いなのです。
The Empire's very existence is at stake.
兵が踏ん張っているのは当然のことです。
そうです。失礼しました。
むしろ私は極東国連軍の将兵、祖国を失った彼らの奮戦に共感しています。
彼らにとってもこの戦いは他人事ではありません。大陸奪還の第一歩と位置づけているものが多い。
バルキリー隊旧上ニーボン確保、警戒態勢を継続。
Look at that. We've already secured a landing
か
position.
なり早い。やるわね。
We are smoking them,
国連機
guys.
動艦隊のリエントリーシェル分離を確認。再突入を開始しました。
ピエテ不注意。A02 の現在位置は現在、新潟県長岡市付近を進行中。各部正常。作戦遂行に問題なし。
Yes. And not only that, but we got Sumika getting deployed. You guys, this could not go any better.
新型兵器ですね。佐渡島で戦っている将兵たちのためにも歌い文句にたがわぬものであってほしいものです。
はい。
This is Valkyrie 10. 8 grappler classes eliminated. No reinforcements. Doesn't seem to have been coordinated.
バルキリー2了解。600メートルほど先に補給コンテナがある。今のうちに糾弾しておく。
Now we gotta resupply. We gotta
補給はアユミネ
resupply.
からだ。残りは全方位警戒。地下からも来るぞ。振動と音モにも気を配れ。
Yeah, Amani's gonna go resupply first.
B 小隊各機。周囲を警戒しつつ前進。今のうちに了解。
This is great. I'm doing fine. I'm in direct combat. I'm not panicking. In fact, I'm cool as a cucumber. Hypnotherapy really did the trick. Guess the fact that I did it voluntarily made a huge difference.
貴様に背中を預ける仲間のために自らの霊は取り除いておけ。
This is all thanks to Captain Asumi. I'm glad I went through with that. But the Valkyries have been kicking. They've been kicking serious butt so far. No wonder they call us a special task force. All the senior officers are absolute pros, and that's even more clear to me now. Sagiri, Walken, Jaguji, they were all great pilots, but these guys, my god, they're on another level. Until now, I always considered Tsukiyomi to be the best service pilot I ever met, but these guys might be just as good. You could tell Second Lieutenants Cosmo, Suzumiya, and Kashiwa get more experience than us, especially Cosmo. She's got plenty of experience fighting the beta, and she's been training with the senior officers more than anyone else. That coordination between them is just impeccable. That's not to say my old squad mates are anything to sneeze at. They're not holding anyone back. Everyone's pushed a whole lot through a lot of pain to get it this far. I'm going to make sure to pull my weight too.
バルキリー1より各機。A02 は予定通り進行中だ。
Nope, Sumika's in
進行
route.
ラインにはベータを1匹も近づけるな。特にプラン B の攻撃開始地点には絶対だ。オルタネイティブ計画直属部隊の意地と名誉にかけて帝国と国連将兵の挺身に応えてみせろ。いいな。了解。
Man, Asumi must be worried about her sister. She may seem indomitable, but I mean, Whiskey's already down 33%. There's no way you could hear that and not be unaffected. I bet Maya's worried about Tsukiyomi and the three idiots, but she's not the type to ever let it show. I was wrong about this, or maybe I wasn't looking close enough. These people are no different than the ones in my world. None of them want to die and they want to live their life in peace. But now that the Beta are here, they've been forced to put their lives on the line to protect the ones they love. Simple as. Oh, absolutely. No, no. I so wholeheartedly agree. As a rewrite VN fan, and when that anime came out, that was soul crushing, absolutely soul crushing. So I'm hoping that Sunrise, is going to go ahead and get the you know, get the job on this, and I'm hoping that they do a fantastic job with it. It's deserved. I mean, it's the most acclaimed VN of all time, so it's only seems right that they would do a really good adaptation with it. Look at all these people right in front of me, fighting for the sake of Alternative 4 and the future of humanity. We can't let their lives go to waste or their wishes go unanswered. We have to bear the weight of their sacrifices.
道を指し示そうとする者は背負うべき責務の重さから目を背けてはならないのです。
先の事件以来、殿下は貴様に全幅の信頼をお寄せになっている。
I've never felt the weight of Her Highness's words more than I do now, and I'm not going to shy away from that responsibility any longer. I'm going to become the man Her Highness believes I am. What's wrong, Beta? Nope. It's just your turn. Oh, right. Resupplying. Yeah, don't scare me. Okay, let's trade places. Watch me, yeah? Wait, Takaru, what's up? How are you faring? I'm sure there's no need for concern, but it's been on my mind. Oh, she's worried about it again, huh? This girl, always worrying about everyone but herself. She must be concerned about Tsukiyama and the others, but she's still got time to think about me. Are you coping? I'm fine, assuming maybe undergo hypnotherapy, so I'm not having problems. All is well then. Thanks for asking, though. I appreciate it. What was that? 6 orbital drop has arrived. The Hive Infiltration Unit.
落下軌道予測のデータだけで安心するな。敵の迎撃でコースは常に変化するぞ。了解。バルキリーマメより各機、現在旧カミニーボ地圏の落下軌道を取るリエントリーシェルは確認されていない。引き続き警戒せよ。
Alright, here they come. Well, that was so cool. This is the real deal. We're fighting the beta now. Yeah, true. Oh, we're just going straight in the hive.
コマンドポスト了解。引き続きメインシャフトを目指し進軍せよ。
後続の状況が知りたい。優先データリンクがうまく機能していないらしいんだ。
了解。現在ウイスキージュリエット機動大隊が第10層までを完全制圧。リマー大隊が M15 ホールまで到達しているので、もうすぐ追いつくはずだ。
I can feel my heart rate rising. I do not like claustrophobic hive caves. Ugh.
地表では
No, thank you.
ノーベンバーの各隊が順次突入し、別ルートからメインシャフトを目指している。地上での陽動も平均的な損耗率のまま機能している。作戦全体の推移は極めて良好だ。スタブ内の兵站も第10層まで確立した。優先データリンクもすぐに回復するだろう。
Yes, absolutely. So much so that I don't like indoor roller coasters. It's one of my biggest fears, believe it or not. Like, I can go to Magic Mountain completely fine, and then put me on a freaking little kid ride indoors, and I just start freaking out.
了解。調べさせる。
ザウバー1より各リーダー、聞いてたな。ゴースト隊はルートスキャン。
Yeah, no kidding. She's right. I'm serious too. It's no joke.
ゴースト1了解。
レザール1了解。
急げよ。突入してから32分経過している。ルートスキャンは2分で済ませるんだ。
So yeah, I expect probably a heart rate rise just because like if there's anything I hate, it's like I got traumatized when I was a kid on a Disneyland ride. Because some of my parents told me, basically they said this thing wasn't going to happen, and the thing exactly happened. So whenever I'm claustrophobic or in a dark room, I immediately think that someone is going to jump out of me. So the fact that we're in an alien hive, and it's dark, and it's in a cave, and it's claustrophobic. That's a story for another time. I was on some ride, TLDR, and I was told that something would jump out. It was like a Halloween thing. And my parents were like, oh no, son, don't worry, it's not going to happen. It happened. And then I just started crying and wanted to go home. And ever since that day, I've been claustrophobic or scared of dark rooms. Something like that, yeah. I don't even... Off the top of my head, I can't even think of it.
全ての分岐路の先からも集結している。なんいや待て、それだけじゃない。下の層の全てのシャフトとドリフトを移動しているぞ。推定個体数
Oh.
4万以上。
Oh, 40,000 beta?
そんな数か。
I'm sure this is gonna be fine.
背部の中は小さいのがうじゃうじゃいるんだ。いちいち数にビビるな。
What, 40,000 against 3? Yeah. Easy win.
下がってこい。
This guy would have to have the greatest KDA ever.
後続と合流して迎え撃つぞ。了解。ザウバー2、後続のリマー大隊に状況を伝えろ。了解。ザウバー1よりコマンドポスト。ザウバー1よりコマンドポスト。
こちらコマンドポスト。ザウバー1どうした？
13層より下。
It could have been that, yeah. That sounds about right, actually. That's me.
こちらコマンドポスト。ノイズがひどくて聞き取れない。繰り返せ。
だから13層より下から4万以上のベータが。隊長、なんだ。おかしいです。変な座標に音源が。
What's going on?
どういうこと？
What does that even mean?
こっちでも確認している。今までシャフトがなかったはずの座標を上に移動しているんだ。
There's like an army of Diglett?
バカな。新しいシャフトを掘っているというのか。
They're Diglett!
今までそうとしか考えられない。奴らは掘りながら。
They're using the diamond shovel!
まずいぞ。ザウバー2、全ての突入部隊にデータを送れ。ダメです。ユウさんは完全に死んでいます。
RIP!
何？
These guys are gone.
外の通信が。どうした？ザウバー2。交代しろ。交代。
'Tis only a flesh wound. Huh? What's that shaking?
バルキリー豆より各機、背部に先行突入した全部隊との交信途絶。第1層突入中のマイク・ノーベンバーの各隊は地表へ撤退中。
We lost contact, but everything was just fine. No, they couldn't have wiped out battalions that
作戦
quick.
はテストプラン B へ移行。繰り返す。作戦はテストプラン B へ移行。A02 の攻撃を持って背部の無力化を試みる。
Sumika.
バルキリー1了解。A02 攻撃開始地点の確保を継続する。
なお、背部周辺の各ゲートからベータが出現中。警戒を怠るな。
These ratings are off the charts. 40,000?
現在のところ、個体数及び種族構成は不明。レーザー属種の存在を想定した警戒態勢を継続せよ。
You're telling me there's still more laser classes? We've already used half of our reserves.
そして過去のデータでは突入から約4時間後に
I know the beta always subvert our expectation. It hasn't even been an hour. Oh.
ほらほら、ぼーっとしちゃダメだよ。
Stop daydreaming, Kashiwagi.
白金、あんた死にたいの？
Sorry.
宗方、幸いレーザー級は存在しないが数が多い。小隊隊で対処しろ。
Alright, we got a large herd. Split.
左翼の18体を片付ける。C 小隊、ついてこい。
了解。
右翼の22体は A 小隊の獲物だ。行くぞ。
了解。
中央はたった19体。さっさと済ませて両翼の獲物をぶんどりなさい。ストームヴァンガードの証を見せろ。
了解。
甘いね。
くらいだ。
Oh, we just did a front flip 360. Yes, I did it. My moves are working.
B 小隊ベータ相当完了。同じく C 小隊相当完了。 よし、各小隊レーザー照射に警戒しつつ集結。了解。それにしてもまた早瀬にしてやられた。3匹も持っていかれるとはな。こっちも B 小隊に2匹食われましたよ、隊員。いやー、ルーカがよくやってくれましたから。これで B 小隊の新人どもも一人前のストームバンド。
I still have a feeling something bad's gonna happen. I can hear that freaking alarm ringing in my ear.
訓練の評価がいくら良くても当てになりませんから。全て実践踏んでからですよ。だそうだ。白。
That was aimed at me? Yeah, at least we're able to joke around. They might be just trying to help us rookies relax. After all, it's really reassuring to see people on the top aren't losing their cool. You know, these casual conversations really do wonders for us. I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, never mind. Nothing burger. Oh, not a nothing burger. Well, why are they coming this way? They killed off the diversionary units? No, the diversionary units markers are alive, but why? Look at that smug aura.
そうだ。私たちが任務を達成することが先に行った者たちに報いる唯一の方法だ。
周辺の補給コンテナをありったけ集めろ。攻撃開始地点の手前約 2000m にあるニーボダム跡に防衛線を構築する。了解。バルキリー1よりヘッドクォーター A02 攻撃開始地点に向け数個師団規模の敵が進行中。支援砲撃を要請。
全艦隊安全圏への退避完了。リスキーエコーへの支援砲撃を再開します。
ピエテフ注意。A01 の要請を最優先処理させなさい。
Where is Sumiko?
当然です。我々はそのためにここに来たのですか。
ヘッドクォーターよりバルキリー1当該エリアへの支援砲撃を最優先する。バルキリー1了解。ヘッドクォーターより全作戦艦隊につく。すべての支援砲撃目標を直ちに指定座標へ変更する。
支援砲撃来ます。
Oh, we got artillery support. It's all Daijobu.
手を休めるな。コンテナ回収急げ。
Laser class? They had that many waiting underground?
重金属運の粉塵爆発に備えろ。
前期防衛ラインまで即時交代だ。看板を盾にしろ。
All units fall back to the defensive line. 60 kilometers an hour? 70% of artillery shells were intercepted. There are 100 laser and heavy laser classes left.
レーザー種をそんなに温存していたのか。予想です。
光月副司令、このまま無策に攻撃を続けさせても無駄になります。
時間はどのくらいかかりますか。
上陸支援艦のロケットコンテナ完成はラインの切り替え。
I don't think they got the 10 minutes to waste.
ですが、戦艦は砲弾乾燥が完全自動化されているので2分とかからない。順次乾燥させ。終了次第攻撃させます。
いかに対レーザー砲弾といえば飽和攻撃の原則でした。2分で完走可能であれば一斉に。支援砲撃がなくなればレーザー種が次に狙うのは。
Exactly what he's getting at. They're gonna go after the manned weaponry. You gotta get some artillery in there.
奴らの最優先破壊目標は空間飛翔体。減らせなくても。
では早速。ピエテフ注意。聞いていたわね。
は、砲撃中の全作戦艦隊に次ぐ。
小沢提督。私の考えでは。
Uh oh.
狙いはおそらく A02 です。
Sumiko, no!
今まで部隊を攻撃しなかったことは。
なんと。
Because they're gonna go after the things with the most technology. It only makes sense.
存じません。空間飛翔体という彼らの最優先破壊助力。
I am so good at this lore.
搭載コンピューターがこの戦域では最高。
I got this down.
あとのはそうですね。 式がちょっと特別というぐらいしか思い当たりません。
確か A02 は無人兵器でしたな。それでも
He doesn't know.
飛翔体であることは
コンピューターとして認識されたのであれば、それはそれなりに喜ばしい結果です。
Did she not think of this beforehand?
とにかくキャツさん人類の切り札 A02 をやらせるわけには参りませんな。
そのための直縁部隊。
Something tells me they're not gonna manage.
しかしいかに A01 部隊が盛況とはいえ
I want to see Sumiko in action, guys.
数万のベータを相手にするの
一定の時間であれば問題ありません。それに何も数万のベータに一度
I need to see Sumiko's special beam cannon.
彼らがやってくれます。
わかりました。ですが不測の事態に備え各艦隊の配置を変更します。
よろしくお願いします、テイト君。
Well, yeah, but it doesn't. I don't know if it's supposed to work like that. It's effective and both ineffective at the same time. Almost all these shells are getting obliterated, and now the bombing's starting to thin out, but the beta haven't even taken damage. 10 minutes.
全力攻撃開始は約10分後。10分後にはベータの戦闘は4キロ先まで来ているは
Another
ずよ。
4 kilometers. Yeah. Do they expect us to hold up?
レーザー級がいるから仕方がない。
We don't have much choice.
でもその4分後にはここまで来ちゃうってことですよね。
You guys are
戦の
done.
定義はその4分間で支援砲撃がレーザー級を何体仕留められるのかにかかってるんだね。
Destroyer class are gonna get here before that. There's no way we can get behind them.
まったく認めてやった途端にピーチクパーチクうるさいことだわ。
First Lieutenant,
全員よく聞け。状況を説明する。
I'll explain the situation.
敵本体の進行速度は約60キロ。デストロイヤー級で編成された前衛は約90キロで先行。
The enemy's main force moving at 60 kilometers. The Vanguard Destroyer class moving at
敵
90.
本体は14分後。前衛は約10分後に防衛戦。
Vanguard will be here in 10 minutes. And the rear guard 14. That's when the bombardment's supposed to happen. And even with the Navy backing us up, how are we supposed to fend off destroyer classes while avoiding lasers from the rear guard? At this range, we won't even be able to use the other beta as a
A02
shield.
の砲撃開始地点はここから2000メートル後方。敵前衛が2分で到達できる距離だ。
砲撃開始地点にこの場所が選ばれた理由は2点。峡谷上の地形が残っていること。その正面が背部に向かって
So they're gonna do the old fake
これは
retreat,
谷を進行することによってレーザー級の直接照射数を制限し
fall back, and then just have the Sumiko's laser beam. Yep, that's a good idea. We heard about that during the briefing. It was also because of the Japanese ravine, right? But if the beta break through here, what's gonna happen to the Susanoo and
ただこの
Sumiko?
場所は A02 だけにではなく我々に
Huh?
では作戦
Oh, we got the plan.
先ほどの支援砲撃以前我々がレーザー照射を受けていないことから敵の狙いが別にあるのだけは
We're
確
not
か
their
だ。
main target.
状況から推測して
Yes,
敵の目
she's
標は
right.
A02 だと思われる。
Main target is AO2. The Susanoo. They could feel it, and then it's getting
3
close.
戦機遮蔽物に隠れエンジンを落とす。この時 AC 各小隊は敵方向に背を向け
Take cover, cut the entrance. AC flights while they're back to the enemy. Beef will face
通
war
信機
zone.
は強化装備のパッシブのみ。起動タイミングはバルキリーマムより指示される。
Turn off all
敵
communications.
前衛は全て通過させ AC 各小隊による砲撃でこれを殲滅する。
I think that's kind of sus.
谷
I don't
に
know.
したデストロイヤー級は谷の狭さに加えてその個体数があだとなり方向的
It's that way they'll be able to exploit destroyer class weakness. Okay. The destroyer class is the weakest at detecting humans, so they won't realize we got our engines turned off.
やつの柔らかいケツに劣化ウラン弾をたらふくを見舞いして
了解。
全力支援砲撃の重金属運発生を合図に B 小隊は敵本隊へ突撃 C 小隊は反転し B 小隊を支援。
She wants us to charge them head
この
on.
時防衛線から背部に向けて約4キロの一帯は支援砲撃の対象外となる。心置きなく暴れられるはずだ。
I mean, at least we don't have to worry about getting shelled. Not much of a
こ
silver
の範
lining,
囲か
but
らのレーザー照射は A02 を直撃してしまう。ラザフォードフィールドがあるとはいえ今回はテストだ。万が一のことがあってはならない。背部砲撃の万全を期するためこの範囲の10レーザー級を
kill off every heavy laser class in the vicinity so AO2 will hit the hive.
A 小隊は敵前衛の相当が終了次第合流する。
了解。
A02 は現在日本海を北北飛行で進行中だ。 本
got
体
15 minutes.
15分以内が勝負だぞ。いいな。了解。処置してほしいやつは遠慮なく各小隊長に申してろ。
Extra motivation. Ah, post-hypnotic, right? No, I'm doing fine. I don't need stimulants. We should have no problem dealing with the destroyer class. There's only so much we can do. It's not just 12 TSF against thousands of beta. It's not like the laser class are going to stand there. Our mission is to divide time and thin out the herd, but... Oh, always the comedian, Lieutenant Hayase. Isn't the part where you can remember your training? Copy. How does that differ from a regular okay. Yeah, I'm counting on you. I get it. We've got tens of thousands of beta making a beeline. Even Lieutenant Hayase is scared. Can't exactly blame her for getting anxious. I mean, she's only 3 years older than I am. You know, we're the same age if you count the previous timeline. That would make me the oldest, huh? Anyway, I can't let myself start dwelling on the odds and ends. If I've got to be an ace pilot, I know what I've got to do. Protect my comrade Sumika and humanity.
敵前衛は依然時速90キロで進行中。防衛線到達まであと360秒。
6 minutes. Cut the engines. Let's see if this dumb strat's gonna work. Seeing around in a dark cockpit. Stupid memories. It's not an issue anymore. It's not an issue anymore. Speaking of dark cockpit memories, what? Why were May and I blushing? That was back when we saved the old one in Mount Tengen. We cut down the border. Were we in the same cockpit? Banhammer. We didn't see anything, lads. Am I sexually frustrated or am I just afraid of dying without passing on my genes? No, we did not just get hit with the banhammer. This didn't happen. That was a glitch. I got hacked. Yeah, I have the original patch version. No way, they really just passing us by. Yeah, I know, I can't say I was expecting that one. My heart rate rises because I have nervousness of getting banned. All ships are ready to fire. The coordinates are NNW.
ポート級3。
重レーザー級の周りに集まろうとしているわ。あいつら重レーザー級を守ってるんだ。
うざったい。早くここを突破しないとどんどん数が。
こいつらから片付けましょう。注意。このままじゃ拉致が開かない。
ダメだ、もっと集まってくる。時間切れになるぞ。
If we don't kill the laser species, they're gonna blast us, Susano.
大丈夫だとは言っても式に負担がかかるからなるべくレーザー照射させないようにしてください。例えばラザフォードフィールドにレーザー照射を受けた場合式にきっちり負担がかかるの。
That's the only one of the Susano weakness that she should let everyone know about. There's a chance it won't be able to completely nullify any lasers in the current state, so what do we do? There was not a possum. I'm not even confident that I'm completely... Did she get the possum? Or did it get away? Okay. She gotta say, I do not want to cut the stream right now. Oh, good job. Thank you. I got this. Requesting permission to create a diversion. I'll take care of the fort class. No, Nani? I'll draw them all towards me so you guys can swoop and take out the lasers. Are you still dwelling on these events? I'm gonna prove to you what I meant when I said the other day. I don't intend to change my process, but for now I want to make an effort to be more considerate of the whole team. I'll be fine. I have to move 10 times better than I did in training, right? Well, Roger. I'm gonna create an opening no matter what it takes. Shot by 23. He's done. He's not gonna pull this off, buddy. You can't just solo. I mean, you're not too far off the truth. I mean, that's what happened in the Yuko ending of Unlimited. I'm not done yet. We're not gonna make it out if I don't back down now. I'll buy you guys more time. Take care of that heavy laser. Hurry up and get rid of him. He's going crazy. Huh? Oh, she saved his life.
ヘッドクォーターよりクラッカー1、支援砲撃の再開は未定。繰り返す、支援砲撃の再開は未定。
なんでこっちは支援砲撃が来ないんだ。
やがる。動かない。どうした動かない。駆動系がいける。
早くベールアウトしろ。
痛いがもう衝撃で
Whoa, who's this? Well, this is like when the level 100s go to the level 10 area in the MMO. Obviously that's Tsukiyomi, but who's Optimus Prime?
別部隊の指揮下に入れ。いいな。了解。
フォーメーションウィングダブルファイブ全体に通達する。防衛線を押し上げる。
はっ。クレスト2より第16近衛大隊各機に次ぐフォーメ。
では参るぞ。
ウイスキー全体の損耗率が 55% に達しました。
Alright, I'm gonna end the stream here. I beat it unironically this time, I'm sorry. It's really late. We will continue this tomorrow. This is getting real epic, and I'm sorry, but I've gotta go now. I'm getting an absolute resident sleeper. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I will see you back here again tomorrow. Hopefully non-ban hammered. Have a nice night, everyone. Thank you again.